Good afternoon, lacrosse fans, and welcome inside the Barrie Molson Centre to Barrie, Ontario for the home of the 2015 CLax Creators Cup Championship game. This afternoon's game is going to be an interesting one. After a lot of feisty semifinal matches, we have two teams remaining. It's the hometown Barrie Blizzard taking on the visiting Ohsweken Demons. A story will be told in just 60 minutes' time. We'll find out who's going to be the Creators Cup champion. As we know, Niagara, after a struggling year, won't be this year's champions. We'll find out who's taking home the Creators Cup in just, like I said, 60 minutes' time. We'll send it upstairs to Steven Stamp and Jim Lowe.
All right, thanks, Spencer, and it certainly should be an exciting game. Of course, Niagara, the defending champions, as Spencer alluded to, didn't even make the playoffs this year. The league has improved, the quality of the play, the quality of the teams, everything just keeps rising and rising. And we're going to talk a bit about the league award winners and who we think should be the winners. We're going to start right at the top. Most valuable player, the finalists, the official finalists are Angus Dineley from here, Dan Keane from the Southwest Cyclops, and Roger Weiss of the Ohsweken Demons. And there's some other strong candidates as well. Who did you have?
Easy choice for me, as much as I like Roger Weiss. Angus Dineley has been an impact player for a year and a half now with Barrie. Only 3 franchise wins in history before Dineley joined the team. They're now 11-3 with him in the lineup. So fantastic choice. He's been a rock for the Blizzard in net.
The numbers do make it pretty simple for him. For most outstanding player, Dineley is up again. We've also got Jesse Guerin and Michael Teeter once again. And I think it's a very strong field. I think Dineley's going to get a lot of votes, but my guess is some people might have gone a different way just to try and split things up. What are you feeling?
Most outstanding player to me is the guy who brings the crowd to their feet, and there's no doubt that this year that was Michael Teeter. Absolutely explosive offense, dynamic. He could change games at the snap of a finger, so Teeter gets my vote.
Interesting. Now, I looked at all these guys and the other nominees, and I wound up going with Jesse Guerin, who played 6 games, 30 points, tied for the lead for Durham, and I thought he was a guy who had an impact all over the floor. He's a smaller guy, an offensive guy primarily, but he went back and played good defense. He's just very, very good.
Tremendous playmaker. It's hard to go wrong with that choice.
Exactly. Our final one that you and I are going to talk about is the Rookie of the Year. Again, some very strong candidates. We've got Thomas Hogarth from the Durham Turf Dogs. We've got Cody Ward from the Niagara Lock Monsters, and Dan Keane, who was nominated for MVP in the rookie category as well.
Yeah. Keane, we got a chance to see him the other night in the semifinal. What an incredible player. The kid's got a fantastic future ahead of him. Yeah. 3 great nominees, but I've got to go with Keane just for his ability to impact a game and change it on a whim.
I might be a bit of a sucker for the defensive guys, but I actually went with Thomas Hogarth for this. I think from the day he stepped into the league, he was one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player in the league. And he got up, he played some shifts on offense, was very effective. He also was very effective in transition. I just thought he brought so much to that Durham team and was so important to them that I went with Hogarth for that.
Can't argue with your choice, Stamper.
We're going to take a look at some of the highlights from our first semifinal game. This is Ohsweken and Durham. There's Thomas Hogarth getting beat, making me look bad as Chris Atwood slips right by him. And here comes Josh Becker. And Becker's going to make a beautiful pass across. Chris Atwood was on fire. He's got the finger wagging. This is a great, great outlet pass from Scott Campbell up the floor. That is just a gorgeous goal up to Dylan Goddard.
I think the key to that explosive start by the Demons was Mike Atwood on the draws. Absolutely dominated Durham on the draws, sprung Chris Atwood, and we saw the results. 4 goals in the first quarter from Atwood.
Well, it started right off the bat, 7 seconds in. Mike Atwood takes the face-off, goes down, passes it to his brother. Chris puts it home. Here we see them celebrating the win. There's Mike Atwood on the left, just leaving the screen. They got strong performances all around. Jake Henhock was in net. They actually had to go. He got hit in the head. They took him out for precautionary reasons, and he was replaced. And Chase Martin, a junior B goalie coming up. What a job that kid did.
I know he's pumped. I've seen him on Twitter today. He's pumped for this game. Henhock has struggled to be consistent this season. When he's on, though, he's a tough goalie to beat.
Interesting, the other team, Cole Murray came in as a backup for Kevin Croswell, played very well in that game. He's now signed with the Minnesota Swarm.
Fantastic signing. Yet another in the long line of CLax players who've made the jump to the NLL.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more from the Creators Cup pregame show right after this.
Academy of Learning College has identified the gap between education and the stressors of the working world. We develop customized programs for each student at an affordable cost. Students can choose from over 30 diploma and certificate programs offered at any of Academy of Learning College's 17 Ontario-based locations. Simply a better way to learn. Learn more at academyoflearning.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Barrie Molson Centre. I'm Stephen Stamp, now joined by Ron Ruff, who has been with us for some color for some games this year and last year. And is this the third year?
This is my third year now.
Third year, you're getting to be an old vet.
Old for sure, anyways.
So we're going to talk about some more of the league awards. We're going to start off with the Coach of the Year. The nominees, Matt Giles from the Durham Turf Dogs, Mouse Henry from Ohsweken, two teams that tied for second, a part of that, and Brad MacArthur, coach of the 6-2 Barrie Blizzard. To me, the numbers really say what they need to say here.
Well, absolutely. It's 6-2 record. It's Brad MacArthur. He's done a heck of a job for Barrie. He's turned that franchise around last year. You could have made an argument last year that he should have been nominated as well. And this year, he certainly is the number one choice.
Yeah. Some more player awards. One of the keys in this league, which is really a transition league, it's a running league. So Transition Player of the Year is a really important award in this league. The nominees, Eric Petrie from Southwest, we've heard his name before, Tommy Montour, last year's Transition Player of the Year, as well as, I'm blanking on the third guy, very bad. But, there are a couple of the leading candidates right there. Do you have a strong preference in this category?
Well, I went with Tommy Montour. Just the way he moves the ball up so quick with his quick first outlet pass. He gets the Ohsweken their offense moving right away, and that's the key to a transition player.
Yeah, it really is, and he does such a great job all over the floor. He's a buzzsaw, just whipping around all over the place. We move up to the more purely offensive guys. For Outstanding Offensive Player, we've got Michael Teeter. We've got Jesse Guerin. We've got Roger Weiss as our nominees. Who do you like?
Well, I like them all. One of those three,
you can go with somebody else.
Can I draft all three on my team? They're offense.
No kidding, right?
It is a tough choice there.
Be a heck of a left side.
Yeah, it would be, and only one ball, but I'm sure they'd make do. I'd have to go with Roger Weiss with that big outside shot there. He not only that, he just leads on the floor as well. And maybe that's not a contribution to your candidates, but I still love Roger Weiss out there.
Hey, if he makes the offense work, whether it's on or off the floor. Yeah. I'm pretty torn. I believe my actual vote, went to Jesse Guerin. I was torn between him and Teeter. I mean, it's so hard. There's so many guys.
It is, and I thought the game in Durham with Jesse Guerin made that wonderful bounce pass that happened the first game of the year, and I still think about it as that was the offensive play of the year anyways.
Yeah. Top goaltender, we've done the we're going to go to the highlights. That's it for talking about that. We're going to go to the highlights of the other semifinal game. Southwest gets off to a great start with Dan Keene going to the net, and then we see it at the other. This is at the other end, and that was a very unfortunate bounce for Jay Priest, and really kind of signaled the beginning of the end for him.
Yeah, I think he lost a little bit of confidence there. I thought he was throwing the ball well, made a couple key saves, but after that, you saw him when he even made a save, he was looking for that ball, and he just didn't find his game after that. So one funny bounce, and it kind of changed the game there.
It was a pretty close game for a while, but Barrie goes on a 4-goal run in the second quarter, and this is a lovely little outlet pass here to spring them for a goal, but it just was too little too late. Barrie just kind of pulls away a bit towards the end of the game.
Yeah, like you said, it was a close game. It was 9-7 going to the fourth quarter, and they were 4-on-4. Southwest pulled their goalie, tried to go a little bit of surprise attack, and it backfired. Zap Tompkinson picked up a loose ball, passed to Jason Crawford, and it put it in the net, and shortly thereafter, Cam Murphy scored, and that was probably all she wrote from there.
Yeah, the Blizzard have just been so deep, and the one thing you notice in a Blizzard game is they don't get put off if things aren't going their way. They just redouble their efforts, keep plugging away. They've got depth. They've got a lot of character guys. They're very happy with the roster they've put together. It should be a great game with them against Ohsweken. We're going to go downstairs to Spencer for a quick hit down there.
I got a great chance to get a quick interview with one of the couple players from both teams before the start of tonight's championship game. We'll start with the Ohsweken Demon, and I got a chance to just get a little insight on what the Ohsweken Demon have to do with number 18, Roger Weiss. So what does Ohsweken have to work on and be able to get a quick start tonight so the Demons can get out to a quick and early lead early in this championship game?
Well, just because we played them last time in the season there were a lot of bad mistakes and a lot of stuff we can correct, so it just comes down to us being here defensively and protecting our net.
And how does discipline play a big factor in tonight's game? Staying out of the box, being able to not put the Blizzard on the power play, how is that going to affect the outcome?
They got a lot of dangerous guys on their power play, so yeah, that's definitely one thing. We want to stay out of the box and just try and play a clean game, try and beat them 5-on-5.
And what's the one thing Ohsweken has to do if they're going to win tonight?
It's just basically just what you said. We got to stay out of the box and play good D, and just keep our mistakes to a minimum, and just try and keep to our guns and keep going.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you.
The hometown Barrie Blizzard, we were able to just get a quick insight on what the Blizzard are going to have to do with number 6, Michael Teeter, who's been great for the Blizzard. All right, just coming into tonight's game, what's the biggest thing Barrie needs to do to be able to beat Ohsweken in the championship game?
I just got to stick to our game plan that we stuck to all year, and I think we'll be okay.
And what's the most important part of getting a quick start, especially against a very skillful Demons team? What's it like to be able to get out early and get a lead?
It's, we're just, like I said, we're going to stick to our game plan, and we've came out pretty hot every game this year, and I think nothing's going to change today. We're going to just keep it going.
Alrighty, thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
We are just around the corner from the 2015 Craters Cup CLax Championship game. We'll step away, but when we come back, it's almost time for the opening face-off from the Barrie Molson Centre in the Craters Cup Championship game.
Fire Monitoring of Canada is the leader in the fire alarm monitoring industry, specializing in the early notification of fire alarm signals to the fire department. Our experienced customer service staff will work closely with you to develop the best solution for your specific monitoring needs, and our CFAA certified technicians are qualified to perform your installation quickly and efficiently. Be sure to choose Fire Monitoring of Canada because saving time saves lives. Visit us at fire-monitoring.com.
Okay, hello, welcome back to the Barrie Molson Centre. Again, I'm Stephen Stamp, joined now by Matthew Carrick. And it's great to have you here. And I thought you were going to be doing the game in a muscle shirt.
Well, I'd like to change it up every now and again.
Nice. I think that would have been a good look. You were looking pretty ripped there.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Glad you noticed. No one else did.
Hey, I'm a little more sensitive than your average guy. So we are looking at what should be a great game. Ohsweken in the championship game for the third time in 4 years. They just keep coming back.
Yeah, and there's never not been a native team in this game. Of course, the first time ever that this game contested outside of the reserve of the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. And Ohsweken don't like it too much that they're not holding that trophy. They told us last year, before last year's season started, that guaranteed they were going to hang on to it, and that guarantee still in place this year. But the Niagara Lock Monsters watching from the sidelines. There will definitely be a new champion at the end of today, and it will either be the Ohsweken Demons and the Barrie Blizzard, of course.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the Most Valuable Player Award and who we picked. We both went with Angus Dineley. And
well, for a second there, I thought I was going with Stephen Stamp.
I think that'd be a good call. And Angus voted for himself.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is pretty obvious, I think, if you watched any CLax lacrosse this year, especially down the stretch. Angus Dineley really stepped up. Part of that really in-your-face defense that Barrie's got. He's the last line there, and he can shut you down and change games for you. That's why I picked him for the MVP.
He has not had an off game this year. He's had a couple games where he was just good. But other than that, I mean, it's amazing how well he's played. The most outstanding player, hey, we're in agreement again. This has to stop.
I picked Stephen Stamp again.
That's right. I'm ranking him up.
I think there's a few coming that are surprises.
So. But Jesse Guerin, we both taken.
Yeah, it took him a while to get into the league. He was the second round pick of the Durham Turf Dogs in the first ever draft. What was that, 2011, I believe, out in Brampton. And it took him that long to get into the league. But once he did, I remember you told me in that draft, he's going to light it up as soon as he shows up. This was his year. He did before going out with injury. I think if he plays the whole season, he may be a contender for MVP.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't even on that list that we got to vote for, but definitely up there anyways. Controlled that offense and was really a key part of Durham's power play and everything that they did on the floor.
And I talked earlier about the two-way play, how he gets back and plays effectively in his own end as well. Pretty remarkable. We're going to move on to our next award, give you an idea. Top offensive player, we agree again. I kind of liked it when Jim and Ron were here because they disagreed with me some of the time. But no, it's good. Guerin had a tremendous season. He's just such a great passer.
You know what? I went back and forth on this one between Jesse Guerin and Torrey Van Every.
Right.
I thought the way that the Ohsweken season went, without Chris Atwood to start, with Wayne Van Every in and out, Roger Weiss didn't have his best, neither did Tom Montour. Torrey Van Every was really the only solid point. And I thought about throwing him on that list. Maybe I should have. To create a little bit there, but as we've already talked about, Jesse Guerin was just so good for Durham in all aspects, especially offensive play.
Yeah, we're going to move on once again. We've got a few to get through here. Hey, there we go, top defensive player. And I think you cheated on this one, but you went with Spencer James, one of the three nominees. I'm actually off the board with Thomas Hogarth. My next three in my list for the voting were, Travis Hill, Eric Petrie, and Spencer James, who were the top three finalists.
Yeah, Hogarth is a great pick, but you can't really talk about top defensive players or teams without saying something about somebody from Barrie, I think. And Spencer James is the captain of the team. He leads that defense. And like I said, they're in your face right from the get-go, and they don't stop. They're so relentless in that defensive zone. So that's pretty much the reason that I picked Spencer James, because he's the leader of the team that does it best. But Hogarth as an individual player, that's a good pick too.
Yeah. The interesting with Spencer James, they were missing Colin Boucher, last year's Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And James just stepped it up. We're going to go to transition player. We're being told to be a little quicker. I went with Tom Montour. You went with Ross Smith, which we've talked about Montour. You just talk about Smith.
Yeah, Tom Montour, I think he only played about 4 games. 6 games, but a couple of those he had a couple 10-minute misconducts. So you can knock that down to maybe 5.5. If a guy can win an award with 5.5, Mike Burke's my MVP.
Okay, that's a good point.
Ross Smith, I mean, he's just up and down the floor. Transition is kind of weird for me because everybody plays transition. So Ross Smith does such a good job defensively, and then he does it offensively well. Watch him today chasing down loose balls. That's really the main reason I picked him.
Yeah, he's terrific. We're going to move on. We don't even know what's coming next. This is going to be exciting. The top rookie, we both went with Hogarth. I think maybe a bit of an upside. A lot of people go for the points, right? Dan Keene with 31 points, 16 goals, 15 assists, but Hogarth, he did it all.
Well, and when Mike Burke left Southwest, I think Dan Keene's game started to slip a little bit. And right about the same time, Jesse Guerin went down with his injury, and that's when Hogarth stepped up. So that was the difference for me in that regard. That's why I went with Hogarth. Keene, a great choice, but that's why I went with Hogarth there.
Cody Ward had a good year, too. He's the third finalist.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the top goalies, and I think this one's fairly obvious. We both went with Angus Dineley, and, nothing against Jay Priest and Jake Hennock, the other finalists, but Dineley was just on another plane.
Yeah, he really was. We already talked about him in the MVP. Just the ability to shut down games and change momentum. You could sense in that final game, Ohsweken was getting momentum.
Yes.
And every time they came down the floor, he had another big stop in him, and that really settled that game, I think, was how he just killed the momentum, another aspect of his game.
Yeah. We're going to go to the Coach of the Year, and there's the award for it. And, well, I guess now we know who's going to win it. Since we just saw the plaque. So we both picked pretty well, going with Brad MacArthur.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty obvious as well. When you look at just all top to bottom, how the team has all performed, that really comes back to the coach. And he's got everybody to buy in. He talked to me about that after last week's game, or after the semifinal, rather, that everyone kind of bought into the system and got them on the same page. That's the leadership committee. That's also comes right back to the head coach. That's why I've got him on my list.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We're going to take a look at who the fans picked. They think Dineley pretty strongly for the MVP. Roger Weiss gets a fair number of votes as well. Dineley for most outstanding player. Our guy Guerin didn't do so well.
He kind of gets lost, especially because we've seen a lot of Barrie and Ohsweken over the last couple of weeks. People kind of forget about Guerin. I think people forget about Dan Keene as well, because he only played 1 game over the last 2 months.
Top offensive player Michael Teeter coming through with the big win, and I mean that might be influenced by late in the season, that 7-goal game at the end of the year. He was spectacular. Top defensive player, they like Petrie just over Spencer James. That's a tight one. Then Travis Hill bringing up the rear. To me, that's the toughest one to pick.
Yeah, it was really tight. This was another one that was tight for the reasons we already said. Everybody plays transition.
Yeah.
I liked Petrie as well. Tom Montour gets slotted in there by the fans, though. Half of them.
And Hogarth, as the top rookie, solidly over Dan Keane. That surprises me a bit, but I love it. I love seeing the D guys get some love.
Yeah, and the best socks in the Canadian Lacrosse League.
Just about done here. Top goalie, Angus Dineley, no question.
Yeah, like we said, Jay Priest, Jake Henhock, we've seen them over the last couple weeks. Rank them 1, 2, 3, however you want. Just make sure one's correct.
Exactly. I think, top coach Brad MacArthur wins in a landslide.
Yeah, Ron Henry and others.
I'm not sure what that means.
No, but Matt Giles did a great job. So did Ron Henry, like we said. And, I like those picks. I think I like them in that order, too.
Yeah, me too. Okay, that is it. We are going to take a quick break. I'm going to let you run through the players to watch and the goalies. I have to head downstairs because I'm actually introducing the player to watch, the player awards and things. I'm going to hand it over to Matt Carrick, and thanks, guys. Stay with us, and there's lots more to come.
All right. Our thanks to Steven Stamp for coordinating our pregame show, along with Spencer Tanguay downstairs, our guests Ron Ruff and Jim Lowe at halftime. Andrew Suter and Dave Coburn will also join us. And here is a look at our players to watch as we begin to focus on the game today as opposed to the season that was. For the Ohsweken Demons, Roger Weiss, he is their most valuable player nomination. And you could go with any number of guys, but over 6 games, 12 goals, 15 assists. That brings his total to 27 points. He's got that huge outside shot. And that will be called upon today as he leads the Ohsweken Demons, especially their power play. On the other side for the Barrie Blizzard, a man who started the season in the National Lacrosse League, played his first 2 NLL career games, got a couple goals while he was with Vancouver. Caleb Wiles, only 3 games. You can see what he's done, 14 points, as he continued to climb his way up the ladder. The officials running their way out onto the floor. We do have the trophies out there as well. And the Ohsweken Demons, looks like Jake Henhock is going to lead them out. Angus Dineley getting set to lead the Barrie Blizzard. And here they are. We're going to check out their numbers. And Henhock, a bit of an inconsistent season. I talked with Mouse Henry before this one. Chase Martin will back him up. And he told me, kind of surprisingly, that Henhock has a short leash here today. 4-2 record, just north of a 10 goals against average. So if the momentum starts to get out of hand, especially early on, watch for that change. Angus Dineley the other way. Expect him to play a full 60 here today, 7-2. As we said, top goaltender, pretty much a runaway, MVP, pretty much a runaway. And some people have him in the mix for top defensive and most outstanding player as well. Don't forget that Angus Dineley is so good. Both of these goaltenders are at getting involved in the play with their assists, sending the ball up the floor. That will take care of our pregame show. We thank you so much for tuning in early, folks. 2 minutes away from the top of the hour, and it will be the Creators Cup Championship. The Ohsweken Demons desperately want it back, but on home floor, the Barrie Blizzard will like to do it in front of their very much deserving fans. Their 2015 Creators Cup Final comes your way after this quick timeout.
take a little sidetrack and go to our official, our top official of the year. And this is given to the man that the judges displayed the greatest proficiency on the floor. Luckily, we have him very close by, Grant Spees. Come on over. Grant's a very experienced official. We're pleased to have him in the league this year. He comes out, does a great job, and basically we just chose the guy that you people boo the least when he comes out and and does his officiating. Oh, come on. Congratulations to Grant. Good work. Our next award will be the Coach of the Year. CLax Coach of the Year presented to the coach adjudged to have contributed the most to his team's success in the 2015 season. It is Brad MacArthur of your Barrie Blizzard. Really started to help turn this team around when Rob Blaisdell brought Brad in to take the coaching reins, and they made some changes to this club, and you've seen the results of the success since he's been around. They're 6-2 this year, first place overall, and the first playoff games at the Barrie Molson Centre, and of course the first Creators Cup that has not been played on native soil. Our next award will be the top transition player of the year. Goes to the player the voters feel impacted the game in a significant fashion all over the floor, offense, defense, and displayed superior end-to-end effectiveness. Tom Montour, please come on over. Tom Montour gets the Transition Player of the Year award for the second year in a row. First player to win the award twice. He was fifth on the Demons with 17 points in his 6 regular season games. He's a third-year CLax pro. He's got incredible instincts. He's a real buzzsaw all over the floor, offensive and defensive ends. He's shifty. He's elusive offensively, great vision and speed. He's shown he can perform at every level, excelling in the National Lacrosse League, Major Series Lacrosse, and here in CLax for the second year in a row, Tom Montour of the Ohsweken Demons. Our next award is for the top offensive player of the year. The guy that the voters felt had the greatest impact offensively on his team, Michael Teeter. Come on over. In 2015, Barrie Blizzard sniper Michael Teeter led the Canadian Lacrosse League in goals with 20 and points with 33 in just 6 games. Picked up right where he left off in 23, his last season with the team, when he had 41 points in 14 games. His speed, skill, and heart are undeniable. When paired with his elusive shot, they make him a lethal weapon within shooting range, which is a pretty big range because he can fire it from downtown. Michael Teeter of the Barrie Blizzard. And that will do it for our presentations before the game. We'll have more awards to hand out at halftime. Stick with us, and you're going to enjoy a great game today. Thanks for being here.
Not many awards remain as the Barrie Blizzard and the Ohsweken Demons swept all the major categories. Top defensive player and rookie of the year will be handed out at halftime. For now, we'll pause for O Canada. As we progress here this afternoon, let us know who you think the 3 stars of the game should be. Tweet us at JVI Video and use the hashtag 3 stars. Pretty good pregame ceremony, Stephen, as I was saying while you were down there. I don't think there's much left to do at halftime.
Oh, there's a few.
Defense and Rookie of the Year, I think. And is there one more? Sorry, I didn't.
You're putting me on the spot. I just ran up the stairs, man. Rookie, defense. I thought there was one more. That might be it.
No spoilers.
Rookie and defense.
Yeah.
There you go.
So make sure you draw.
Oh, and the all-rookie team and all-star team.
Oh, okay, good.
I knew there was something
there
else.
You go. Okay, cool. There's a look at your most valuable player and the top goaltender of the league. No big surprise. Like we said, Angus Donnelly, Jake Henhock settles in. And as we said before, though, Mouse Henry saying before the game it may be a bit of a short leash for Jake here today. Remember, it was last year when he started suffering dehydration in the Creators Cup final. Took extra time. We'll see how long it is. It'll be at least 60 minutes. It's been a long wait for the Ohsweken Demons, a full year, but longer than that for the fans of Barrie, as it's been almost 3 full years. The opening faceoff held onto, and Mike Atwood dumps AJ Mass in there.
And you mentioned Ron Henry and Mouse Henry, what he was saying. Just Jeff Dowling, the director of lacrosse operations for the league, pointed out to me before. We got to mention it's the coach of the year, Brad MacArthur, against a guy who was 4-0 in CLax playoffs in his career, Mouse Henry. 3-0 with the Iroquois Ironmen in 2013 when they won the championship, and of course the semifinal this year.
Yeah, Mouse Henry does have the ring there. A couple other guys, I think there's 5 or 6 on this Demons team with a ring. Nobody on the side of the Barrie Blizzard with a championship as of yet. John Ray lays into Mo Bissell there, and 3 Blizzard are going to try and take off there. A nice job coming off the bench by the 3 Demons players, and they'll dump off for Caleb Wiles. He'll try and settle things up here. Matthew Carrick, Steven Stamp, Spencer Tangay downstairs, and the rest of our JVI Sports Network crew. This is the Creators Cup Final from the Barrie Molson Centre on the JVI Sports Network. Out in front, Caleb Wiles has an open look, and that one, Henhock did go down, but it bounces off the right arm and into the corner.
That's a big save because Caleb Wiles is lethal from in front. Didn't shoot well in the semifinal. Was kind of joking about it, but he is a deadly shooter, and you can see from the fact that just ticked off Henhock's arm that he is getting to the sides of the net today.
Yeah, you told me after the game he was a bit surprised to see he was the first star of the game at the opening goal. Gets the crowd alive, 1-0 in favor of Barrie. This is what Ohsweken was afraid of. They were worried about the first 5 minutes and the adrenaline on that Barrie bench.
Yeah, and the top offensive player of the year, Michael Teeter, shows why as he just goes straight overhead. He's got that beautiful over-the-top shot. He's got a nice little low skipper as well, but in this case, he just comes right from above, a very pure, stylish shot, and he's going to take the pass. You can see Elijah Printup on him, but he kind of steps back and creates some space and then gets the big pick from Wiles. Wiles, the reason he was the first star on Thursday is because he made some beautiful passes and did things like that, opening up space for his teammates.
Well, I shared that with him, and he said, you know what, they were shutting down my shot. I had to, which really kind of shows his maturity. And
yeah.
I think when he went to the NLL for those first couple games, 10-second violation down in Barrie's zone. We saw Donnelly recover nicely from that. Ended up a beautiful sidearm whip pass that went the length of the floor, started a goal earlier on Thursday night. This time doesn't work out, though. Chris Atwood will get it back. Tom Montour, transition player of the year. His shot sails over the net. And our player to watch, Roger Weiss, gets it outside the restraining line. There's a pick in on Griffiths, a nice slide over. And now funneling his way through, Dewey Porter getting that shot away.
And you can see how high defensively Barrie comes out on Roger Weiss because he can score from the restraining line. He has one of the best shots in the game of lacrosse, not just in CLax.
There's a loose ball battle there. One in the corner by Tom Montour. He gets it up for Wayne Van Every. Wayne looking for an outlet, finds it on the far side, goes and throws a pick. As Atwood works down into the corner. Looked like he ran out of room before taking that shot. Angus Dinley comes up and makes the save. That was Masson on Atwood. We'll watch that battle develop as the afternoon rolls on. Mike Miller. John Zabo gets rubbed out into the corner there. Grant Speece, your crew chief. And the technical official is Gord Brown. We've got a jousting match in on the crease, and that's going to stop play. And Mike Miller and I believe Mike Maudsley is going to go off here.
Yeah, Miller and Maudsley, M&M's going. Zabo saw the play develop. Maudsley came right after Miller after a bit of a rough ride. They go after each other, and no hesitation to call those early penalties, try and get things under control, because we have seen some pretty adventurous times here in the Barrie Molson Centre between these teams. There's a shot from the outside right into the chest pad of Dinley, who's looking up for Spencer Janes, but that pass is not there thanks to the hustle of Dewey Porter getting back.
So they'll change up and get the offensive boys on the floor, led by Mike Teeter. A.J. Masson follows him. 4-on-4 lacrosse on the blue turf, and that one just skips off the stick of A.J. Masson. Travis Hill, another guy I thought of for a defensive player of the year.
Oh, yeah, I had him right up there.
He comes up with that loose ball, and that starts a counterattack for Elijah Printup. They'll let the change complete before they bear down. Josh Becker into the corner for Mo Bissell. And not very often do you see Atwood miss a pass like that, but it does drop down onto the wall. And Ross Smith right on it, as he usually is, but can't pick up. And the last guy you want to find it is Chris Atwood alone like that.
Such hard work by Ross Smith. I was about to say that's exactly why you voted for him for Transition Player of the Year, is because he makes difference-making plays, like coming up with loose balls like that, but that one just eluded him. And if there's any question about how important those battles and the loose balls are in your own end, that just solved that question. That's why you need to get those balls. Chris Atwood, it just pops out away from Smith and past Zach Tompkinson, who's coming towards it to try and help. It gets in tight on him.
Well, and Ross Smith was chasing it down, too, after he lost it, and Josh Becker just stepped in and picked him out of the way.
Wes McDonald is in, and he and Atwood are having some pushing and shoving. McDonald in there to provide some size and beef in the defensive zone.
He was scratched after warm-up last week in favor of Jason Crawford, who responded with a hat trick. All three of them transition goals, although two of them into the empty net. So
Crawford was outstanding, both defensively and, of course, in that transition role.
Montour can't handle a pass here now. So we're about 10 seconds away from Ron Henry's magic 5-minute mark that he was saying they had to come out and tied at ones here. Still on the power play. There is the shot from Roger Weiss we talked about in the opener.
And you can see Jason Crawford was about half a step too far away to have an impact on the shot. And you don't beat Angus Dinley often from out there. But if you're Roger Weiss, you can beat anybody from pretty much anywhere. He is going to really step into this one. You can see Crawford starts to come out on him, but is really trying to watch. He's thinking pass. You can see it again here, how Crawford is backing away. All of a sudden realizes, uh-oh, I better get out there. And he just backed off a step too far.
Early movement again from A.J. Masson. He wants an explanation on that face-off as Atwood heads off. Travis Hill sends it into the corner. Torrey Van Every up top. Janes pushes him out of the way, and then over the back shoulder, Dinley covers up. He was looking to spring Tompkinson, but out of the box comes Mike Miller, and Maudsley with him. Chris Atwood doesn't miss top corner by much, and it bounces off the crossbar up into the seats. Doesn't hit anything in white, so
illegal substitution call coming against the Barrie Blizzard. So with a 2-1 lead, Ohsweken will go back to the power play. The last one was, of course, matching penalties. But, this is a big chance for Ohsweken to get an early start. Not that necessarily means a lot against Barrie, because they have the fortitude and the wherewithal to come back. But it certainly is nice to get out ahead when you can.
So like you said, the penalty's just expiring. And power play back on now for the Demons. They'll start with Roger Weiss. Van Every, Elijah Printup gets the low crease position on the near side. He ends up with the ball now. They're going to work the right side first. We'll see if Weiss looks for the left side. He does behind his back. Torrey Van Every there with the quick stick. And a nice save by Donnelly.
And as usual, Donnelly immediately looks up the floor, just nobody there. So Crawford makes that, or Rob Koger makes that pass. Unfortunately, in catching it, Teeter's momentum carries him back over center.
Rob Koger recognizing, I believe, the Wayne Van Every rather, right down on the crease. Got there in time, but no one picks up Tom Montour. They were on the floor for the ceremony and everything as he streaks down the middle. And Wayne Van Every wide open on the crease.
Great ball movement by the Demons on the break. And, I think Barrie came into this game certainly as favorites given the run that they've been on with 6 straight wins and just how solid they're looking. The last one of them, of course, a 17-11 win over Ohsweken. But there was no doubt that the Demons were going to make this a real battle.
So Mike Gillen now steps in for A.J. Masson, and same result. This time, no quick movement. Masson, Atwood just drops him to the carpet as they renew their battle. And Masson wanted a call there as that was way behind the ball. Josh Becker outside the restraining line, dumps it in the corner. Smith on Dewey Porter, a sidearm shot. That one looked like it fooled Donnelly. Wasn't really prepared for it, but was in good position. A 2-on-1 though. Here comes Wiles with a delayed penalty, takes a shot off the backboards. Ball up high for Maudsley, chasing it down. It was tipped over the line by an Ohsweken stick. So they'll end up going for Dustin Caravello.
Just 6 seconds to shoot for the Blizzard.
They get it to the right guy, Teeter, but he looked like he was passing for Caravello there. Shane Scott, another hard shot from the other side, and it's going to be an off-ball slash, it looks like. And Josh Becker takes the slow walk.
So a great chance for Barrie to get back in here. We know they're going to work hard to fight back in. They've been doing it all season. Whenever they've run into adversity, they just battle back. And the real thing in the second half of the season was Caleb Wiles came back. He just seemed to make everyone around him more dangerous. You know, you've got Mike Maudsley and Teeter out there, Caravello and Scott.
This was Wiles working all by himself. He had some help in the middle, but his shot off the back dasher. And then up into the private boxes. Travis Hill, they call heads up as Koger was bearing down on him. But Hill's going to post up now. Caravello and Koger work with him, and now an extra man in the corner. You see that battle. The ball looks like it's still in the stick of Travis Hill. He almost comes away with it. Referee in good position there, and it comes down. And shot clock expires.
And Barrie agitating a little bit for a delay of game penalty as Wayne Van Every came out and took the shot well after the buzzer. There's no way he heard that buzzer because...
well, the buzzer went and I heard that, but I heard no whistle after it. And these players are trained to play to the whistle. Oh, Caleb Wiles faked the shot and got Montour right in front of him. Now Montour is going to have some words for Wiles. And Barrie's going to take exception to that. And there's about 8 Demons players. This is how the last one started, 8-on-8.
Mike Atwood grabs Mike Teeter by the face mask. Teeter returns the favor, and then A.J. Masson jumps in because that's a huge size differential between those two. And Montour and Caleb Wiles have a bit of a history between them. We've seen plenty of jawing between them over the course of their CLax careers.
Well, Masson and Atwood have had a battle at the dot all day brewing already.
What a shot by Caleb Wiles. Teeter's just going to toss it over to him. You can see, like you said, the hard fake pass that sends Montour looking to the man to the far side. And Wiles' shot is so deceptive. And he's shooting much better than he was on Thursday.
Oh, Mike Atwood grabbing Zach Tompkinson by, and look out here as the stick of Tompkinson gets up into the face mask. Now Masson goes after Montour. Definitely a high stick on Tompkinson and more scrumming behind.
Well, Crawford gave Montour a push just as he was leaving, and somebody else jumped in. Now it's Masson and Atwood, Mike Atwood, still having words. A.J. Masson's a pretty easygoing, pretty soft-spoken guy, but when he gets on the floor, he will stand up. Now he's talking to Chris Atwood, and Mike's not going to like that much, so he'll head right back over. And, this is one situation where Tom Montour is a great player. I love his energy. I think he's a great guy. But there are times when you just have to suck it up and not do something on the floor. And one of those times is when your teammates are going in on a 2-on-1 and you're behind the play.
Yeah, honestly, and I think I talked about it in the opening, that's why he wasn't my transition player of the year. It had nothing to do with his lack of ability to play transition. Yeah. And here we go again.
Oh, the melee is coming out.
The gloves are off of Mike Atwood. A.J. Masson's got someone else tied up. Not sure who's with Atwood. It may be Rob Koger.
It is Rob Koger, and he's just letting go. He's saying,
Chris Atwood was in the middle, and Chris Atwood started the melee last time when he went after Zach Tompkinson, and that caused Tompkinson to ended up getting 2 games as he retaliated and jumped on top of Atwood.
Both Atwood brothers heading to the box, and this is something, Mouse Henry after the semifinal said, when Atwood had such a big impact but also spent a 10-minute misconduct in the box, he said, I can't have Chris Atwood taking 10-minute misconduct. We need him on the floor. Mike Atwood, a big presence in the face-off circle defensively and physically as well. We'll see what the calls are here.
Someone's just been tossed by Grant Speece. We've only seen him a couple times, but he does quick. And out of the box and into the face of the official is Chris Atwood.
He's gone.
Double sevens will take the showers here, much to the delight of the Barrie fans. I don't think Ohsweken bench likes that one too much, but these officials have seen what's been going on between specifically Mike Atwood and A.J. Masson, and off those 2 scrums, Grant Speece pretty quick with the trigger, but that's been what he's been doing the past couple times he's been on the floor.
All year, Grant Speece doesn't take a lot of guff. He lets them know, stop or you're going to face the consequences, and Chris Atwood clearly didn't stop. Now, we're going to see how this gets going. There's Mike Atwood. And you see Koger behind him. Koger was just not going to fight him. Probably a smart, disciplined move. And it's just, I think, off to the side of this, where Chris Atwood has already created a disturbance. There's Atwood in the box. You can see him to the right, chewing the gum.
Just the aftermath. He's the man in the back there giving the fist bump to
just didn't see what incited
brother
it.
Mike, but Chris Atwood, I think, given the game misconduct, obviously the instigator in all this, and now a Barrie player has left. I saw 5 fingers.
Well, and now have officially realized that we have to calm down and settle our troops, because both Brad MacArthur for the Barrie Blizzard has just told his team that's enough. We're down by 1, and it's only just 8 minutes in this game, and there's still tons of time left, and his team just needs to settle down by 1. With, who knows, could have a power play. Looks like the board's showing a 3-on-3 situation. So they're going to try and settle down and get right back in.
Well, I only see deuces up there. I'm pretty sure Grant Speece gave a 5. I saw 5 fingers go up, and Spencer Jane's getting the explanation now.
Well, there are 4 demons in the box if you count Chris Atwood, who's actually been thrown out. So there are 3 over there plus him.
Mike Miller. Mike Atwood is in there. Tom Montour's number is up. And then
so of course, there you go. That's huge. And as you're just about to say, penalty shot territory, when you cannot serve a penalty that is on the board, when you cannot serve a penalty that's called because there are penalties already on the board, any following penalties result in a penalty shot.
Well, we've got the newest member of the New England Black Wolves, back on the floor for on the bench rather for Barrie Blizzard. Garrett Billings turns to his assistant coaching role, and shout out to Josh Johnson, former member of the Ohsweken Demons, goals number 1 and 2 last night for the Buffalo Bandits.
Yeah, he is such a good player. We've had a chance to see him in junior and in CLax, and he's a kid that went in the second round or early third round even of the NLL draft, and I think he's going to be a good one. I really like the package
I
that
thought
kid
he's
brings.
going to be good ever since I saw him step up here, and
Yeah.
he was 18 years old playing with the big boys and making them look foolish.
And
so.
going to the middle of the floor against
Yeah.
the biggest defenders. He didn't care who it was. He would go in, he would catch the ball, and he would shoot. And then he would get hit. He wouldn't even get flattened. I was going to say he gets flattened, but he's a smaller player, but he is sturdy.
Mike Teeter, Caleb Wiles, the give and go with Wiles on the move. That one ties it up. There is too much room out there to let those guys work.
Yeah, I mean, and what a smart play by Brad MacArthur, putting Teeter and Wiles out there with Ross Smith right off the start. I mean, it's not rocket science when you have the ball to send those guys out, but just starting them up, and it looks like they've got a bit of a set play here because Wiles just took one step and blasts past Travis Hill.
Yeah, and with Atwood gone and Montour's in the box, as is Mike Atwood, the transition game is gone. Some of the offensive game is gone. Travis Hill, bit of a judo toss from Mike Gillen. They let that one go. Hill in all alone. Travis Hill, kick save. The stick comes out for Dinley. And some more chopping in behind the play. Here's a huge collision in front of the bench. Mike Gillen gets away and then hits the deck with Kenny Aaron on Teeter. All alone, Hill chasing him. And Teeter's shot saved by Henhock, but Koger gets it back. Looks 5-hole. He's going to get the rebound, though. And back up for Mike Teeter.
Nice job by Koger to recognize where that ball was going, hustle over, get it, get the shot. Just recognizing that Teeter was on his offside and Koger was in just as good a scoring position, and then getting yet another loose ball off the rebound.
Bit of confusion on who was coming out. Barrie almost took in a substitution penalty, but it is Maudsley. And I believe Caravello they've got out there. Teeter takes the shot, Henhock with the save, and the ball will go to the far side as now they get Wes McDonald in. Change up shot from Wayne Van Every, bounces off the back glass. First man to it, Dustin Caravello, no over and back. And Caravello puts the brakes on as the offensive guys wait up. It's going to be Brad Lovick and Caleb Wiles. Wiles with the shot and the goal. And that's about 2 or 3 where Henhock was standing still. Now we start kind of looking. No move to Chase Martin yet, but he did say it would be a short leash today.
How about the third straight goal for Caleb Wiles? 2 of them coming on assist from Michael Teeter, and this one from Gillen. This is just... from Gillen. It's from
Caravello.
Caravello making that pass. But what a great play. Caleb Wiles is such a dangerous shooter. And the momentum is wildly in favor of the Barrie Blizzard right now, and Ohsweken has to stem the bleeding. Turns out the middle 5 minutes of the first quarter was really what they had to worry about. Chase Martin's got his helmet on. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's had it on since he came out. I don't know, like we said, Mouse Henry, I spoke to him about that. I spoke to him about Henhock. I said, you know what, no surprises today. Like, we never really are certain, but I said I assume Henhock starting, and that's when he told me yes, but could be a short leash. We don't know, obviously, if he's – I assume he wouldn't be telling Henhock that.
Right.
But, Chase Martin may have got that memo. We don't know, but Chase Martin is always ready to go. Like we said, what was his record? 62-4 or something like that in Junior B.
Exactly.
Like, disgusting numbers.
Unbelievable numbers. Save percentage, goals against, everything was fantastic. The thing with Jake Henhock, he's a very good goalie. He's an angles goalie. He's very economical with his movements, doesn't make a lot of spectacular saves, just plays his position. And Caleb Wiles, being such an accurate shooter, is the kind of guy who can, if he's right on, can eat that up.
Well, and Teeter with his deceptive shot as well, the way that he can change in the air. Caravello's able to do that, as is Wiles, as is Shane Scott. So could be a long afternoon for Henhock, or short if Mouse Henry pulls the trigger. Yeah. But it's 4-3 now after being down for Barrie, and we're in officials timeout territory. There's a shot from Rod Squire. We got to wait for a stoppage. That's not a goal, though.
And Angus Dinley is starting to feel it.
Yeah.
He's getting that look, isn't he?
Well, you saw that when he came out of the net to help out on that 10-second play and to get a couple saves under him and get the momentum back in Barrie's court. Teeter hangs on here. Now he's going to dump for Wiles.
So the 2-minute penalties have expired. We're back to 5-on-4 now with Barrie on a 5-minute power play.
Wiles takes the shot off the shoulder of Henhock, and you could see again, not a whole ton of movement as he had the angle played. Donnelly comes up almost to the restraining line to feed it from Wiles. Wiles to his left. They've got, looks like Caravello down low. Low on this side is Teeter. They go Caravello, looking quick stick as Kyle Jamieson was down there. Wiles behind his back for Teeter. He reaches around. It's in behind Hennock. He got a piece of it with the right foot, but it kept rolling. And that's the first goal off the major.
Yeah, Barrie just keeps rolling. Teeter's second. And, you know, the other factors we're going to get to the replay is there are 3 Demons still sitting in the box. One just came out with that goal. Chris Atwood is gone. They are very short-staffed on the bench. Great behind-the-back pass. And there's Teeter reaching around Miller and tucking it back. That is a difficult shot to reach around the player and draw it back to the near side. And that's why it's so tricky to stop. And, wow, Barrie's on fire.
Travis, something happened there between Travis Hill and Mike Gillen. Hill got the stick ripped out of his hand. The other guy in the box is Mike Atwood. They lost their leading offensive guy, their leading transition guy, and one of the best face-off men in the league in that skirmish. As we assume they were 10s because there's nothing on the board. And A.J. Masson is in there as well. Off the stick of Teeter, it bounds up. And Montour on his horse. Caravello with him. What a stick check there by Shane Scott, actually. Picked up by Teeter. He gives for Wiles, and Barrie will come back to the net to our right. Caravello, he's got Maudsley on the crease, takes the shot. Henhock the save. And there's Wiles tracking down Scott. Thought he had room to shoot. Elects to give off for Wiles, though. Wiles will back away. Now Scott will let her rip, and it goes off the backboards up into the netting that covers the screen here. And I was just about to say we haven't taken the officials' timeout, and now we do with 3:05 on the clock. A 2-goal lead for the Barrie Blizzard. They remain on the power play.
And we have the penalties are still going up on the box score, but Mike Atwood did get a 10-minute misconduct. Here we're going to see some replay.
We were told it was a defensive play. We'll give them a sec to cue that up again. We'll step aside and be back with more action in the first quarter of the Creators Cup Final. This is CLax action on the JBI Sports Network.
This is a defensive play we were just about to show you. It's Shane Scott hustling back and taking away the chance by Tom Montour. And I'll tell you, these Barrie Blizzard are fired up. They're doing it all over the floor. Just to recap the penalties, at 6:54 to play. Tom Montour with 2 for slashing. Atwood 5 for, we believe, a high stick. It says HHS. We're not actually even sure what that is. He also got the game misconduct. A.J. Masson gets a couple of minutes for misconduct, so he'll get 10 as well. Mike Atwood with 10, Miller and Tompkinson with 2 each.
And more penalties coming here as Spencer Janes got tangled with Roger Weiss. And Weiss fell to the floor, so Janes will go for, I assume, a hold. There it is from John Sabo. And that puts Montour back on the floor. Wayne Van Every.
Yeah, Montour's been out there for a bit. He was actually killing the penalty. He was up at the top.
Well, he is pretty fresh as he was part of that.
He had some rest.
Yeah. Huge check there from John Ray on Wayne Van Every. They go up top again. Roger Weiss. Van Every, a pick on Ross Smith. And a late call on the moving pick.
Coger's going to pick it up. And, you know, there's so many players on these teams that we haven't even gotten to talk about very much yet and the impacts they make. Mike Gillen's a guy that jumps out to me as a key contributor for the Barrie Blizzard. Here's Caravello, though, going to the net. He's going to flip it up. Looked like he was going to Tompkinson, comes to Teeter instead.
I
Teeter's going to let it fly. That one's high, but it comes straight out. What an effort by Wiles as he scoops it off the floor, goes up high over Henhock, and just misses. They're coming back the other way. Montour is all alone, scores. Dustin Caravello went high risk, high reward trying to steal that pass, and Montour gets it when it slips past Caravello's stick.
And I think Caravello had to because he recognized it was Montour in stride, wasn't going to catch up. He had to go all out to take that, but it comes off a nice save back the other way, and Montour celebrates a little bit in front of Barrie's bench.
Does the berserker right in front of that Barrie bench.
Top transition player in the league. He's brought his running shoes on today.
Yeah. And you can see, I think your point is well taken that Caravello had little choice because he was beat. If the pass got to him, he couldn't turn around and get there anyway. Might as well try and intercept it.
Ken Aaron wins the draw after Travis Hill took it there. And Hill to his right side. They work into the corner. Mike Miller tried to find the cutter. Dinley scoops it up, and again, looking up floor. Finds Ross Smith, who brings it over. Brad Levick off the bench. Now Smith will head off.
Smith's showing a pretty good example of the Blizzard approach. If there's a chance to push the ball up the floor, you push the ball up the floor, and then you decide what to do when you get up there.
Teeter's passing attempt goes right into the pocket of the stick of Printup, and he's going to run down. This time Scott goes with him. It was a 1-on-2. Printup takes the shot, and Dinley went with him and got it caught up in the left leg pad. Players standing in the box. A.J. Masson and Mike Atwood ready to return to the floor. 14 seconds to go in the penalty to Spencer Janes as well. Here's Teeter crossing his hands back to pass in front of the crease. Shane Scott drags the loose ball out as it was intended for Maudsley. And the sidearm shot in behind Henhock. That one, I was about to say shorthanded, but I believe we're still 4-on-4.
Yeah, right now we're still 4-on-4. Thanks, Spencer, as you can see now. And here's going to be the replay. Teeter just kind of flings that pass across. It looked like he was trying a little reversal shot. Instead, he flipped it over to Scott, and Scott makes a nice play to step around the defender and find a little bit of a hole. It's 6-4, and yeah, Chase Martin, this is a kid who's only played he hasn't played a full game in CLax yet. And he was very good when he came in last week, but boy, that's some pressure for the junior B guy coming up.
Well, in credit to Mouse Henry, he saw what happened to Henhock last year, and earlier in the season he gave both Brandon Stiers and Chase Martin a shot and said he wanted to see what he had. And a bit of a conversation here between the officials. One said over and back, the other said no, it was tipped. So they'll allow Ohsweken to hang on with 12 on the shot clock, 38 to go in the quarter. And a nice defensive job there by, Mike Gillen pushing his man aside. Van Every on his wrong side, sets up behind the net. Travis Hill pushed into the corner. Game clock down to 23 now as Koger dumps Travis Hill. And then the whole pile falls over, looking for the loose ball. And then on the carpet, a right shot. And now some digging going on in there with Travis Hill, and Spencer Janes pulls him aside.
Haven't seen any penalties called yet. Travis Hill getting a bit of a break as he threw that punch down on the floor and somehow isn't getting called for it.
And Derek Collins can't believe it. 13 seconds to go in the period. Mike Teeter in the corner for Caleb Wiles. Wiles up for Teeter. Works it through, out of the reach of Shane Scott. Picked up by Caravello. Teeter rips one right after the buzzer, and Ken Aaron runs him over as he thought that shot was late, and everyone pick a partner. Here we go again. Behind, a spinning right fist.
by Caleb Wiles on Kyle Jamieson. Aaron's going to the box, no question about that, as he just ran over and jumped Teeter. Teeter has some words for him. And Brad Levick steps in, and Aaron's good to go with him. And now Levick's going to go, and Kenny Aaron is celebrating. And Aaron may have just got some more.
Montour and Wiles Montour and Teeter were exchanging words. Gord Brown got between them. And again, Grant Spies is quick, and he's got another 10 on the side of the Demons. And I think there's one coming to Brad Levick as well. We'll sort this out on the other side of the timeout. The first quarter ends with a 2-goal lead for the Blizzard. We'll switch sides and reset and be back on Easter Sunday.
Academy of Learning College has identified the gap between education and the stressors of the working world. We develop customized programs for each student at an affordable cost. Students can choose from over 30 diploma and certificate programs offered at any of Academy of Learning College's 17 Ontario-based locations. Simply a better way to learn. Learn more at academyoflearning.com. Fire Monitoring of Canada is the leader in the fire alarm monitoring industry, specializing in the early notification of fire alarm signals to the fire department. Our experienced customer service staff will work closely with you to develop the best solution for your specific monitoring needs, and our CFAA certified technicians are qualified to perform your installation quickly and efficiently. Be sure to choose Fire Monitoring of Canada because saving time saves lives. Visit us at fire-monitoring.com.
Well, these two teams have a history, and this right at the buzzer, and oh boy, Ken Aaron straight to the helmet of Mike Teeter. Spencer Tanguay heard it all downstairs.
Hit, as we just saw, right to the head of Michael Teeter. But Brad MacArthur very impressed with his team for staying disciplined, and as we now should see, the Barrie Blizzard are going to have a long power play as all the penalties are getting sorted out.
Now, just to be devil's advocate here, because I'm down with Aaron getting whatever he gets for that. I think he deserves whatever penalty they give him. But wasn't that shot late? I thought Teeter shot late.
Well, the horn had gone, I think, before he started the windup.
I thought
so
so,
there's definitely room to take some off it or stop the shot. The green light was on for a while.
Yeah.
So there will be people on Barrie's side and their fans that will say, no, he couldn't hold up. But I think if he wasn't started the windup, he was starting the windup. So there was room to either pull it back. I mean, we've seen these guys throw fakes, ridiculous fakes.
Yeah.
So
he didn't have to shoot that ball.
Yeah.
It's not egregious. I mean, it's not 3 seconds after the buzzer and he rips it at the goalie's head, but he shot after the period ended.
I can see how Kenny Aaron disagrees with that. Yeah. I don't see how he disagrees to the extent that he did disagree.
No, I think that's...
And the actions he took. So he goes off. There's 2 on the board for him, and a couple other players did go off. Nothing on the board for them. 3 seconds remains in the major to Chris Atwood. Mo Bissell serving that penalty. So looks like it's going to be a full 2-minute power play for the Barrie Blizzard, and we're 4 on 3.
Yeah, Aaron gets the roughing call.
No, 5 now as Tompkinson takes the floor.
5 on 3. Ken Aaron doesn't care. just saying. So 2 minutes apiece to Aaron and Levick. And Aaron gets the 2 roughing to start. And then Levick and I believe it's Aaron get the 2 and what I assume is 10 for each of them.
Yeah, I did see the hands on the hips twice.
Yeah.
And now they're asking Lee Nanticoke to go over. So he's serving, I would assume, the deuce for Aaron. I don't know if Aaron got an extra 10 there as well.
I think he did.
Zach Tompkinson, Tom Montour, they're discussing over on the restraining line, but it's going to be Mike Gillen and Travis Hill to start the second quarter. The Demons will go left to right here. The Barrie Blizzard will go right to left. Chase Martin and Angus Dinley remain in their respective cages. John Ray gets the ball on stick on that ball and flips it up to Mike Gillen. He'll run down the far side, and they want Gillen to pass off to Wiles and then head off.
Of course, with Mike Atwood and A.J. Masson still in the box serving their 10s, Barrie with a much better chance of getting every face-off out there.
Mo Bissell is back out there. He immediately runs into Shane Scott, who's really picked up his defensive game this season. Behind the back, down on the crease, Maudsley shot saved by Martin, and rebound picked up by Scott. Wiles up top. Scott and him play catch. Pick there for Teeter, open space for Wiles. He looked to dive across. Maudsley was in the way. Now Wiles gives for Maudsley, the shot in the goal. Lead stretch to 7-4 now, and this one comes on the power play, and it takes all of 59 seconds.
And Caleb Wiles, so many moves, so many fakes that you just don't know when the ball is actually coming. The pass itself winds up being a pretty simple little pass through to Mike Maudsley. There's not a whole lot to that, but they've got to go out and respect Wiles, leaving Maudsley wide open on the top of the crease. I mean, it kind of looks like, Grant Spees is just talking to the benches to make sure everyone's aware of exactly the situation, because there have been a lot of penalties.
Yeah, it looks like we're back to 5-on-5. So just Mike Atwood, AJ Masson, I believe Brad Levick and Ken Aaron remain in the blocks as they're the guys serving 10-minute misconducts. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Good luck with that. He's a great player, but he never shuts up.
Well, he's the next guy that could get dimed up here. They're being handed out. Dewey Porter picks that one off the carpet as Ross Smith was dumped and lost it. Comes back for Miller again. He shoots wide. And it's stolen there by John Ray. He's looking up the floor as he jogs over the restraining line. Now he makes his way to center, and he's going to pass off for Jeff Griffiths. Ray heading off now. Tompkinson takes his spot. And Caravello passes to the left side where Teeter is. Teeter to Tompkinson. Teeter from the restraining line looked like he was loading the shot. Goes over. Oh, is that Crawford over there? And then dropping down to get that as the shot clock expires. A Demons player goes over top of Tompkinson and they exchange some friendly taps. Montour. Teeter goes around him, switching hands though. Over for Caravello. Huge pick in front of Caravello as he lets that shot go. And Griffiths has to chase this one down, flips it over his head. They do call over and back. And then afterwards, Caravello is dumped.
Yeah, Dewey Porter taking a run at Caravello, who was going after the ball and made the hit just as the whistle went. So definitely not a late one there, but a big hit nonetheless.
Doesn't mean the bench. There's Dinley, one-handed pickup by Caravello and the goal. There's the assist power of Angus Dinley. He gets the left fist bump down in his crease, and all the players salute him before the goal scorer.
You see that at least a couple times a game where Dinley springs somebody, and in that case, you just have to be aware when there's a shot on Angus Dinley that someone's got to start running up the floor.
Well, this is normally the Chris Atwood play.
Yeah.
And
great
unfortunately,
pass to
we don't catch the shot. Here it is.
Oh, that's a beauty just over the outstretched stick of Tom Montour. Caravello sells high, gets Martin reaching up, and then as he starts to go low, Martin swings across, and the opening's there, 5-hole.
And on Montour's goal, it was Caravello going all out. This time it was Caravello that beats Montour and has to go all out in trying for the interception. Gillens powers past Kyle Jamieson. Jamieson has to go down and retrieve his stick. Shane Scott with the ball here as Teeter takes to the floor. Caleb Wiles. The big names just keep rolling off that bench. Caravello again, this time the left shoulder makes the save, and some chops exchanged there between looked like Travis Hill and I think Mike Maudsley, who's got that jersey tucked into the kidney pads. Caravello over for Teeter. He's hopping around over on that side. Back for Shane Scott. Steps in with Roger Weiss getting in front of Chase Martin. The concentration required to make that save. And Mo Bissell back the other way, bounces it. Speaking of through the legs, it goes 5-hole on Dinley. And Mike Atwood and A.J. Masson finally return to the floor. And it looks like they're going to take the draw here.
They could be going right back to the box, but we'll see if they can control their tempers a bit. They regarding each other, but Bissell comes down and scores. It's a very important goal here. Don't often beat Dinley from out there, but he just puts a nice deceptive little twist on the stick and gets that one in. And Ohsweken really needed something positive to happen.
Masson's going to win it, and an interesting point there. Because the scrum came off a draw, Atwood does have the face-off stick, as he would have had to actually go to the bench to exchange sticks if he had the shooter's one.
I've always wondered how much of a difference it makes with the two sticks.
I was never a face-off guy. I was never a good shooter, so I can't tell you. Here comes Mike Miller. Hit is in his back. Dinley comes out, then gets drilled by Wayne Van Every. He gets sent to the carpet. Mike Miller trips over top of Spencer Janes, and then the shove from Wayne Van Every on Janes finally gets the whistle. You could have had 6 or 7 before that, though. Down in tight. Shane Scott, a number of moves. Normally the outside guy. This time he's right down in tight, and he scores.
And, this goes back to the other end with Dinley running out. And, you talked earlier about Brad MacArthur, or Spencer mentioned Brad MacArthur praising his team's discipline. Great discipline by the Blizzard not to do anything when Dinley got run into. And that leads to this. Because, he went out and played it. He made his own bed. They let him lie in it. He was fine. They go down the other way, and a goal is a much better revenge for somebody hitting your goalie.
Well, I said last week, Dinley takes a lot of exception when guys get close to his crease.
Yeah.
But he's well aware of the fact that when he comes out, we can see their eyes getting wide from down here.
Yeah.
As Atwood drills heavy into Maudsley there on that face-off draw that ended up in front of the timekeeper's box. Already got some votes for 3 stars. They want the timekeepers in on this one, as they've got the clock straightened out for the most part all night long.
They've been busy. Maybe the busiest people in the building.
Hope they brought extra pens. Here's Teeter. Far side, a sidearm shot. Just a little bit of an excuse me shot there, saved by Hennock. And that was Wiles. We talked so many times. As here's Roger Weiss over the top. Out of the reach of Elijah Printup into the corner. 10 minutes away from halftime, where we'll have, here's coming through. Printup was in the crease as that rolled through the legs of Dinley. But we will have, as part of our halftime show, the rest of the end of season awards. Andrew Suter will join us for an interview, as will Dave Coburn of the Niagara Lock Monsters and the St. Catharines Saints. That coming your way in 9.5 minutes. Bit of a corkscrew shot as Teeter comes in. The ball rolled to the back of the crease, and they're going to say that Teeter was in the crease when he picked that one up. So Ohsweken will mount their counterattack as Wes McDonald and Jason Crawford take over for the Blizzard. Mike Miller outside the restraining line here, shoots it into the feet of Crawford. He did this 3 times on Thursday. Oh, what a move to reach around and then off the pipe before bouncing out, and Crawford was in full dive mode. And Van Every on the crease. Roger Weiss, does that hit crossbar or Dinley? Not sure. But the end result ends up into the seats, and we can all take a breath here.
Not for long, though, as we're right back out of it. I thought Dinley got it, and that was spectacular if he did.
2 great saves at either end. That one definitely hits crossbar from Dewey Porter. And Montour has to track it down in the neutral zone. Montour fakes out his man and then runs down. Bounces it in front of Dinley up into the screening. And Montour will face Johnny Ray as Barrie will get an offensive set off this play. Wes McDonald bouncing it up for Caleb Wiles. Wiles with Mo Bissell on him. Nice job by Wiles as Bissell was ready for the pick. The roll comes from Maudsley down on the crease, and Chase Martin with the save. And they look up to the front door. Josh Becker is there. Puts the brakes on, though, and Torrey Van Every gets pushed aside. Shane Scott with a huge pick He ran into the wall that was Josh Becker. Becker chases it down, and that's off the shoulder cap of Dinley into the corner one more time. Caravello up for Ross Smith. He's going to run it up over center. Passes around Travis Hill. And down on the crease, in stride, Tompkinson. He's been hot of late. Teeter reaches over the top, and that one, Chase Martin saw at the last second. Hidden ball trick with the goaltender. But it's going to be passed up to Roger Weiss, who takes the floor. In officials timeout territory here. Roger Weiss to print up. Back for Weiss, who was cutting to the net. Koger keeps it out of his stick as it rolls into the corner. Chasing that down, Mike Miller shoots it into the body of John Ray. Ray still after him. Ball comes free again, and now Ray off to the races. Stops at the restraining line. Changes coming for both sides. And Mike Atwood went right at John Ray, and their sticks came high. Spinning and a skip shot there from Wiles. Mike Atwood looking to go after Wiles. Wiles picks it up after batting it through, kind of rugby style, past the defender. Mike Gillen gets under it again. Here's Shane Scott. Wiles and Lee Nanticoke are tied up on the crease. That opens a lane for Scott, who sends a corkscrew shot into the legs of Chase Martin. And Wiles was told to be quiet, and Lee Nanticoke is still on him. That's why Wiles is upset. Chase Martin sends it up to mid-floor. Wayne Van Every couldn't hang on, but bats it forward for Mo Bissell. His sidearm shot in on Dinley, the first save. Bissell ends up in the crease as the ball rolls into the corner. Maudsley, he's tangled with Wayne Van Every, but back the other way. There's a shot from Wes McDonald in between the legs. A nice save by Chase Martin. End-to-end action as we've come to love it here in the Canadian Lacrosse League. Roger Weiss and going down hard, and he's in some pain, is Wes McDonald holding that knee.
It's his hamstring. He grabbed it. As soon as he just slid to the turf. He didn't fall. He slid because he pulled a hamstring as he was sprinting to try and keep up with Tom Montour. You could see he just went into a baseball slide to get himself off of his legs.
I didn't actually see him go down, but I did see him clutching at that leg. If it's the hamstring, it's probably a good thing. You can see the huge brace that he's got on that knee. And if you watch as much lacrosse as we do, that's a sickening sight. Today's championship game brought to you by the Canadian Lacrosse League. Visit CanadianLacrosse.com for all of our broadcasts and stats and schedules from the Canadian Lacrosse League. And, of course, JVISportsNetwork.com if you'd like us to come and cover your event. And the good folks at the Roland Systems Group, RolandSystemsGroup.com. They've been providing us with our audio and video equipment all season long. We want to thank them. And we've taken the officials' timeout here with the injury to Wes McDonald. He did go off, and I believe down the tunnel as the trainer went with him. Here's how both these teams got here, and one game above 500 for Ohsweken, but 5 above 500 for Barrie, coming in on a 6-game win streak.
Barrie 4-0 on the road, pretty impressive. They are 3-2 here thanks to their home victory in the semifinals, but they are on a roll. They certainly started a little slowly this year, but got going after that. And, I just want to throw a shout out to the Barak Netanya Lax Club, Barak Netanya in Israel, who are joining in to watch Brad MacArthur. He is one of the coaches for the Israeli national team, both field and box, that competed last year in the World Field Lacrosse Championships. They'll be going this year in the World Indoor Lacrosse Championships in Onondaga. So, hey, Barak Netanya Lax Club, thanks for joining us.
We've got some members that I know of anyways of the Canadian Rugby Sevens Club tuning in Tokyo.
Nice.
They finished, I believe, 3rd or 4th in their series this weekend, beating New Zealand for the first time
ever. Huge win.
Oh, man, what a game. Last night at about 11:30, well, most of you were waiting for the Easter Bunny. They were getting down to business. A.J. Masson, as we get back to our business at hand, gets it up for Shane Scott. 5.5 to go here in the opening half, a 4-goal lead for the Barrie Blizzard. 9-5 as Ohsweken looked like they were going to run away with it. We got some nasty business, got that out of our system, and Barrie's kind of taken over offensively. Cut in the corner, there's a shot from Maudsley. Chase Martin, who took over from Henhock, goes down low. The second straight Creators Cup where Henhock's started and left. There's Roger Weiss, takes the shot off the pipe. Oh, manages to get back to his left to stone Mo Bissell.
And Roger Weiss can't believe he couldn't put that one in after Zach Tompkinson completely overran him, coming to try and check him. Weiss all alone and bounces off the post, and Bissell was robbed, as you said, by Donnelly.
Those are those game-changing saves that I talked about in the opener. Why I had him as my MVP if you needed any other. Oh, what a job there from the carpet. Gillen does the right thing, pulls the ball out of the crease and takes the shot, all well on his back.
All Ryan Benesch-like.
Teeter getting it over for Wiles. Ray can't hang on, and he realized he gave it up to Montour. Ray's going to beat his two defensive partners. Montour keeps it away, and the last man there is Donnelly again. You said he was heating up. Well, he's red hot right now as that one into the stick and then bounces it into the glove.
That's a great save, but what hustle by John Ray. He's a big man, and the speed he shows. Ray, now they're having some words as Montour and Ray both standing by their benches. Ray waiting for Montour to head off so he can't lurk.
Into the corner for Caravello. He shoots over about 3 different players. Atwood gives a bit of a shove to Shane Scott. And a bounce pass finds its way to Mike Miller. Miller diving as he was hit, shoots it over his back to Wayne Van Every. They had Dewey Porter cutting through. Van Every elects to shoot from his wrong side, though, and Donnelly saves that one as well. 3:14 remains in the second quarter as Caravello bounces it to the far side. A lot of gold in the building, including the Creators Cup. And, of course, a couple more awards to be handed out, including Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and the All-Star and All-Rookie Team nominations. In the corner, it comes, works its way back through the middle. Teeter bouncing it in front, and then Teeter ran through the crease after the shot. So Ohsweken will bring it back over center now. Mo Bissell, he shoots wide on the change-up. Looked like it was going to bounce away from Travis Hill, but he does corral it right at the CLax logo. Montour for Wayne Van Every. Fakes a swim move, turns back, takes a shot around Gillen. Donnelly was able to pick that one up and then spins around. In our conversation after Thursday night's game, he said the team pretty good. It's been getting better over the season. When they first started, there were a lot of guys in the way of shots that he couldn't see, but he said now the communication with his defenders has really been improving as the season's gone on, and he's been seeing a lot more shots. Ross Smith fakes out Travis Hill. He's got 3 on the clock as he dives through, and Elijah Printup was there to make sure he stayed in the crease and got the call. Mo Bissell, a nice pickup before going over center. He's got Masson on him. Now Griffiths takes over. They pass for Tommy Montour. He sidesteps his way in. Mike Atwood on the crease takes the shot. Oh, over the shoulder from Weiss.
Shrug save from Donnelly. Stopping Mike Atwood's one thing, then Weiss right on top is another.
And then Montour from the outside. Atwood goes after his man, and Montour is inside the restraining line. The defenders lost their stick there as both Torrey Van Every and Ross Smith battle for it and miss. Becker sends it up for Roger Weiss. Torrey Van Every. Oh, man. From outside, Weiss for the second time tonight. And I don't know how many times in his CLax career he just picks a corner.
Well, he's hit the post. He's been stopped on the behind the back by Donnelly. Nothing would deny him that time. He gets the open look. I've talked several times about how he has diversified his game in CLax. Does a lot more inside, a lot more setting up. But this is the classic Roger Weiss. Just ripping that one. It's in and out so quick. You almost need, if you blink, you miss it.
What a shot. My
He's
goodness.
great,
About a 3/4 release as he brings that one over, and you could see Donnelly looked like he was going down, but that's just pure accuracy.
And
from
power.
from Roger Weiss, yes. Maudsley trying to find Gillen on the crease. Nice job there by Travis Hill, keeping both feet in and then reaching up over top to bring that one back. And ball finds its way into the crowd. Caravello's looking to the bench to see if they want timeout. Coaches do not, so they'll start their play. Up for Shane Scott, Caleb Wiles, Mike Teeter. Darley remains in the cage. Teeter from the corner. He was cutting through, was Wiles. It ended up in the body of Josh Becker. Travis Hill now. Good bounce for Teeter. A shot there. It's underneath Martin. And as it's picked up in the crease, the timeout is signaled. They did have Wayne Van Every down the floor, but Caravello was all over that. And they'll bring Martin to the bench. 23.5 remains in halftime, and 3-goal deficit. Now the Demons are looking to make it 9-7 with a bit of momentum headed to the rooms.
Yep.
Yeah, Martin really starting to settle in as well. We obviously, I think rightly so, have been talking about Donnelly. Here's Chris Atwood. He's gone to the showers, but you can see what he's done throughout his junior and major and senior career and in CLax. 196 points over those 3 seasons, and 28 this year brings him over 500 over those 3 or 4 leagues.
And besides missing a pair of legs, so you're forcing everyone else, the other 15 guys, to run more, especially when you've had a couple guys with 10-minute misconducts, but you're just missing such an integral part of your offense in Chris Atwood and a guy who can bring you back on his own.
There are guys on this roster that can do that, but when the ball flows through Chris Atwood like it does so many times, it does make it difficult. Here's Montour up top for Van Every. Montour again circling the crease was Weiss. They can't get it through as Printup has to improvise. He does, and it was Koger losing the loose ball battle to Elijah Printup. The clock stops with 2.06 as it goes behind Donnelly.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing Elijah Printup spend a lot of time in the offensive zone here in CLax. He's been one of the leading defensive players, a great penalty killer, but he is a guy who, especially in the Can-Am Senior B League, he has shown that he can play offense, and he's showing you why they've got him up there on that one as he battles hard to get the ball, and then a perfect pass over to Weiss.
And Ron Henry made no hesitation on the power play. As soon as Atwood was got his ejection, Elijah Printup slotted right in, and that, with the goal from Roger Weiss, an opening half hat trick, makes the score 9-7 as these teams send themselves to the rooms. I believe Spencer is down on the floor looking to find someone from Barrie. Both teams are making their way down. Steven Stamp beside me. He's setting up with Andrew Suter. A great halftime setting up here for you, including, as we said, the top defensive and top rookie of the regular season awards presentations, the all-rookie team, and the first and second all-star teams as well. While they make preparations for our halftime show, we will step aside, but be sure to come back with us. Andrew Suter is standing by with Steven Stamp. It's 9-7, the Creators Cup final from the Barrie Molson Centre. This is CLax action on the JVI Sports Network.
Hey, lacrosse fans, welcome back to the Barrie Molson Centre. I'm Stephen Stamp, joined by Andrew Suter, now of the New England Black Wolves, and bit of a change for you, but you got right into the mix with a couple games this weekend.
It was obviously tough going into Minnesota for the first one, but that's a big win for us last night in Buffalo, and every game for us is a must-win if we want to make a push for the playoffs here.
What was the emotion like going back into the Hive where you've played for so long, been such a fan favorite?
I honestly don't have words. It was very emotional for me during the game, and then when I actually went through the handshake, I had tears in my eyes just saying goodbye to so many good friends. And, they're such a class act organization, and you get to talk to the ownership and everything, and it's just like they're so thankful, and I'm also so thankful. So it was a really tough situation for both of us. And, we wish each other the best, and there's no hard feelings. And we're both going to move forward. And, I wish them all the luck, except when they come to New England or we're in Minnesota.
Big win in New England for you last night, beating Buffalo. How much did that do to buoy the spirits of the Black Wolves who'd been losing some?
I think it's one of those things that we really needed. There's a lot of American guys learning the game, and as well as a young team. So, for us to go get a win like that in front of 15, 16,000 people, that's pretty big for us.
Now, you're repping the Orangeville here with the hat. You're a guy from this area. What's your history with Barrie lacrosse or Barrie lacrosse in the sort of northern part of Southern Ontario?
From Orangeville, but moved up here to go to school. And then I have 3 or 4 really good buddies: Johnny Ray, Mike Teeter, Dustin Carvello, Zach Tompkins. Guys that I've played with in Owen Sound, and I'm a diehard Blizzards fan. They love it, and every time I get the chance to sneak out here, I make sure I catch their games.
Nice. You're here watching the championship. This, of course, the first championship not at the ILA. First time Barrie hosted playoff games was this year, and they're looking pretty good to go all the way.
Yeah, I think what Jimmy Veltman's done is unbelievable. The compete level of these guys, and I truly think that it's too bad we can't get a couple more teams in the NLL. Because I think there's 5 or 6 guys out there that are shoo-ins. Just It's such a tough thing to do with 9 teams, and I think there's guys that would dominate in the league as well. Wiles is out there; he's looking phenomenal. I think Teeter's playing well, and Angus down there. He throws one of the best balls I've ever seen from a goalie. So
gorgeous.
They're something fun to watch, and I love the high pace. It's kind of my game that I play, so I love seeing it.
You'd be right at home here, going back and forth to both ends too, because you love to get up the floor.
Yeah, I just need an air tank at the end of the bench there on the way off.
So the season, you're winding down the NLL season. Obviously, this is wrapping up. How's everything going in terms of? You're in school. You got the knee is pretty much back to full health, right?
Yeah, I'd say I'm better than I was. When you get something like that, you kind of have to find the gym twice as hard, and I feel like I'm back to where I need to be.
We're going to go down to the floor. We got some more Warsue. Really great to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Southwest Cyclops, Dan Keene. Keene led all rookies in points this year, notching 16 goals and 15 assists during the regular season. With 31 points, he was 52nd overall in the league, while also securing 3rd overall in goals and 8th overall in assists. The Southwest Cyclops selected Dan Keene for the first pick of the 2014 draft, 4th overall. In his first season, Keene led all Cyclops players in points, goals, and assists. Additionally, after last Thursday's semifinal, Keene became the Cyclops single-season goal-scoring leader with 19 goals, surpassing Mike Burke. Prior to joining the Cyclops, Keene was selected 23rd overall in the 2014 NLL draft by the Vancouver Stealth. Keene was also a standout with the Delaware Blue Hens, Kitchener-Waterloo Grays, Elora Mohawks, and Brampton Excelsiors. Fans, make some noise for Dan Keene. CLax Top Defensive Player of the Year award is presented to the player the voters deem to display the greatest all-around ability on the defensive aspect of the game during the 2015 season. Our winner for CLax Defensive Player of the Year from the Southwest Cyclops, Eric Petrie. Dan will be accepting the award on Eric's behalf. In Eric's second season in the league, he established himself as both a leader with the Southwest Cyclops and one of the league's elite defenders. Petrie, who served as the Cyclops captain, led the team in penalty minutes with 31 and was 4th on the team in points with 15, 5 goals and 10 assists during the regular season. The second-year CLax Pro led one of the stingiest defenses in the league, giving up just 84 goals all season. The Toronto, Ontario native was drafted in the 3rd round, 9th overall by the Cyclops in the 2014 draft. Fans, make some noise for the Defensive Player of the Year, Eric Petrie. Alex Ashton, if you can give that. finally, our award for the most outstanding player in the league. CLax Most Outstanding Player Award is awarded to the player who voted himself impacted the game more than any other during the 2015 season.
The winner of Most Outstanding Player in the Canadian Lacrosse League for 2015, from the Durham Turf Dogs, Jesse Guerin. Jesse was not able to make it today, so accepting the award on his behalf, Commissioner Jim Veltman. Durham's Jesse Guerin adapted quickly to the CLax style of play this season and established himself as a top offensive threat and one of the best set-up men in the league. Over 6 games this season, Guerin recorded 30 points, 7 goals, and an amazing 23 assists, which tied him for the team lead in points and 3rd overall in the Canadian Lacrosse League. Guerin demonstrated that he was the epitome of a team player. His hard work and unselfish style of play made him a favorite among teammates and made him all who played with him better. The most outstanding player for 2015, Jesse Guerin of the Durham Turf Dogs. Very quickly, fans, we're going to announce our all-star teams. First, our all-rookie team. From the Niagara Lock Monsters in net, Doug Buchan. From Southwest, Eric Giltanen. From Durham, Thomas Hogarth. From Southwest, Dan Keene. From Ohsweken, Rod Squire. And from Niagara, Cody Ward. Fans, the 2015 All-CLax Rookie Team. Our second team All-Stars for the league. Goaltender from the Southwest Cyclops, Jay Priest. From the Niagara Lock Monsters, Corey Fowler. From the Ohsweken Demons, Travis Hill. From the Durham Turf Dogs, Thomas Hogarth. From the Southwest Cyclops, Dan Keene. And from your Barrie Blizzard, Mike Maudsley. Finally, fans, your 2015 CLax First Team All-Stars. First in net, our CLax MVP, Angus Dineley. From the Durham Turf Dogs, Jesse Guerin. From the Southwest Cyclops, Eric Petrie. From the Ohsweken Demons, Rocket Roger Weiss. And from your Barrie Blizzard, Michael Teeter. Make some noise for all of our 2015 CLax Award winners. Thank you, fans. We've got a great second half headed your way. Once again, Commissioner Jimmy Scoop Veltman.
Back inside the Barrie Molson Centre, I'm happy to be joined now by the General Manager of the Niagara Lock Monsters and President of the St. Catharines Saints in the summer, Dave Colburn. Thanks for joining us. No individual awards for your guys, but a couple all-rookie nominations, Doug Buchan and Cody Ward, and then Corey Fowler making the All-Star team as well.
Yeah, definitely 3 guys that deserve the awards this year. Cody, as a rookie, did really, really well. Dougie didn't get a lot of games in, but he performed really well for us at the end of the season there. And then Corey, Corey does what Corey does best. So it well deserved, and it was nice to see him get the award as well.
Obviously not the season you guys wanted, but for another 34 minutes or so, you're still the defending champions. So enjoy that. Not you yourself. You were with Durham last year, but let's focus on the summer. You seem to have all kinds of success in the summer. How's the season shaping up for St. Catharines, and what are you expecting this year?
It's definitely early for the summer stuff. Still getting a lot of questions. Everybody wants to know what's going on. We're too early. A lot of guys are still in the NLL. We still got CLax going on. Our training camp doesn't start till Tuesday, so lots of work to do. Our season's a month away. It's our final roster. It'll look probably a lot different than the roster that we start with. So.
The Niagara Lock Monsters and the St. Catharines Saints, over the years, they've kind of mirrored each other a little bit, or a lot. Even the team that won it all last year, when they won the President's and the Creators Cup. Is that part of the strategy you're doing, or are you just looking for the best guys you can find for both sides?
I definitely think we're looking for the best guys. St. Catharines in the Niagara region, I'm lucky. The Saints are lucky. Niagara Lock Monsters are lucky. We've got a large pool of players, right? A lot of guys to draw from. So I think it just kind of works hand in hand that the two teams, or the majority of the players are on both teams. Does it give us an advantage? Sure, absolutely. Those guys are playing together all year long. So it's a nice situation for myself and the team. And hopefully it brings us success again this year.
Of course, the big news coming out of St. Catharines, hosting the President's Cup down in St. Catharines this year. We'll be there. I know you'll be there as well. The preparations for that, what's left to do, and what's your role in that? Obviously, a huge one. How are those things going?
As for what's left to do, there's lots left to do. I think there'll be lots left to do until we start that first game. Always looking for volunteers, lots of preparation. We finalized our arena. We're going to be playing at the Seymour Hanna Sports and Recreation Complex Entertainment Center. So great facility, lots of excitement. We expect to do really well. I think the summer's going to lead up to the President's Cup really nice. I think league-wide, this may be the most competitive season I've seen in the 5 years that we've been in the league. So definitely looking forward to it. Just want to get going.
So fans who are looking to make travel plans, or they live in St. Catharines, they want to help out, they want to, I don't know if tickets are available yet, put your promoter's hat on. I'll give you the last minute and a half here.
Yeah, thanks. The best thing to do is reach out to Saints Lacrosse at hotmail.com. Reach out to myself for volunteers, and either one of our websites, saintslacrosse.ca and presidentscup2015.ca.
Easy one to finish with. I know CLax was there with Niagara in Seymour Hanna a few years ago. Carpet or concrete?
Undecided. We'll see what happens. Okay. Right now we're looking at concrete.
No spoiler alerts from us. Thank you very much, Dave. The Ohsweken Demons back on the floor. Final minute of halftime, and it is a 2-goal lead for the home side at this point. We'll step away one more time before the final half hour of lacrosse.
All right, welcome back to the Barrie Molson Centre. It is 9-7. We are ready to go with the second half, and I'm Stephen Stamp with Matthew Carrick, and just seeing some highlights of the first half, but I'll tell you, the big factor to keep in mind, Chris Hatwood is gone. He has got his jersey off, he's got a wrap around his ribs, but that could be a huge factor. But Roger Weiss looks like he's trying to really elevate his game and pick this team up.
Yeah, Wayne Van Every hasn't had the dominant season that we're used to expecting from him. We talked about Torrey Van Every, who, we haven't seen much out of him today, so I think it does fall on the shoulders of a guy like Roger Weiss. He is our player to watch, and a first-half hat trick there. And their defense has been doing a good job so far. That shot steered wide, and Kenny Aaron ends up flipping it into the stick of Wayne Van Every. Van Every is going to walk over the restraining line, spins and fires that one off the arm of Spencer Janes, and he shakes it out. He's still shaking it out. He has a huge pick in front there. Coming across was Torrey Van Every to get in the way. That shot doesn't miss by much, but it goes off the back dasher, a funny bounce. And in the same spot, James takes a second shot on this shift.
And, of course, it's Ohsweken possession again because it goes off of James up into the stands.
So he's a long way from home, and he's in all kinds of hurt right now with Spencer James. Roger Weiss looks it to the other side. Wayne Van Every, he's going to beat Ross Smith, around the corner, and they looked for Bissell on the crease. As Weiss, he goes up top, 10 on the shot clock. As coming around is Bissell. That one hits Ross Smith, and the first guy to the bench, is Brad Levitt because he was high already, but Spencer James gets there in a hurry. Swim move coming here on Elijah Printup. Nice slide job there by Mo Bissell to keep Wiles on the far side. He's doing all kinds of dipsy doodle and finally gets it back to Jeff Griffiths. His sidearm shot is saved by Chase Martin. Martin for Jamison. Goes up for Bissell. They're letting the Demons know that there's a late man coming off the bench as Johnny Ray makes it back into play. Roger Weiss tried the shovel pass, but no one's home. The first man there, Josh Becker. There's a spinning shot from Rod Squire. Doesn't miss by much. It goes up into the rafters, and the last person it touched was Angus Dinley, so it'll be Demons ball once again. Dewey Porter. Ray keeps him outside. This one off the stick of Shane Scott. Still in a battle with it, though, and now it bounces off his back heel. And that puts Scott closest to the ball as he touches it, and then over and back against Barrie.
Yeah, Shane Scott twice in a row trying to get plays where he sprung himself. That time, no risk since it wasn't over and back, so he gives it a go, but it does bounce off of his foot.
Sorry, the violation against the Demons. The ball goes to Barrie, and it shoots off. Chase Martin lands in front of him. Falling awkwardly there was the Demons player, and coming up limp, but having to stay on as the ball returns is Ken Aaron. Wiles behind his back finds Teeter in the corner. Teeter inside the restraining line. Back for Wiles, he dives through. Pretty similar to his first career NLL goal when he was with Vancouver earlier. Tompkinson is going to keep Montour on the outside here. Here's Travis Hill trying to bounce it. Looked like he was trying to bounce looking top corner, but hits the way top corner up in the mesh.
Looks like the Demons may be thinking that they can beat Dinley with the high bouncers, because we've seen Squire go with it, just bouncing it off the high post, and then that time Hill doing a very similar shot.
Well, we've talked about it in this arena before. It is daylight today. John Cheeseborough clued us in. That light shines through the back doorway there, and it is kind of high, right up at eye level. If you're wondering what we're talking about, John Cheeseborough wearing the GoPro, you pretty much have to see it to understand it. Shane Scott was dropped there, and now Montour sits on him as the ball rolls away. Maudsley cuts through the middle, takes on three defenders. Looked like Van Every may have ran that back into the crease. Grant Spies was right there and says no. So still waiting for the quarter's first goal as we're almost 5 minutes through here. Levick turns and fires. Where's the ball? Somehow it manages to get in behind the crease, picked up by Teeter.
Well, it went straight into Teeter's belly, hit him in the jersey.
Oh, what a defensive play there by Wayne Van Every as Gillen tried the swim move. He caught the stick on the far side, and Van Every's going to end up with the ball. Gillen trailing him, putting the brakes on. Teeter throws the body into Van Every. Bit of a lazy shot off the backboards. Mike Miller there to pick up the rebound. Miller gives for Mike Atwood, and Dewey Porter completes the line change. Wayne Van Every, there's a way too big pick and a late shot that now Barrie is upset about. As Teeter was just absolutely dropped by Mike Atwood up top. Teeter. He's got Kyle Jamison on him, dangerously close to the center line, realizes it, cuts back. He's going to go all the way to the net now. Teeter switches hands more than anybody I've seen as he did it twice on that exchange. Caravello trying to shoot it through Mo Bissell. Doesn't get there. So Caravello finds Shane Scott, who spins and fires. The save made by Chase Martin. Ball being brought up here by Miller again. Shane Scott on him, a couple whacks. Now John Ray joins the fray. Spinning backhand, saved by Dinley as it went through, and Miller was flattened after the play. Him and John Ray have words. Up for Spencer James. Give and go there with Tompkinson, and Tompkinson gets a good quality chance off with Tori Van Every all over him. Brad Levick giving chase, Tori Van Every. Back over to the far side, Brad Levick. His shot off the left shoulder of Chase Martin, and Rob Koger's there to hang on to the rebound. Becker and Koger tie up. Koger there in time to disrupt the timing of Jamison. Spencer James picks it out of the corner, flips it for Tompkinson. He's all alone. A nice job coming over there was Tori Van Every, and Barrie's bench wants to slow things up so they can get a change here. But that's not going to work as Koger loses his stick, elects to go for a change and leave the stick there. And Montour is going to jog it out over center, and the Demons get their tired D guys off the floor. Ball skips off the stick of Montour, who was going through. Masson had his stick tied up. As there's Caravello. The stick of Koger still lying on the carpet. As Teeter cuts through, dangerously close to the crease, but does tiptoe the line. Shot went through, a nice save by Chase Martin, and as they try and outlet Dewey Porter. Brad MacArthur still trying to get the officials' attention to get Koger back his stick so he can return to the floor. Weiss in front, Donnelly goes with him 3 times, and the last time not the charm as Donnelly makes the save. Shane Scott takes over for John Ray. Ball's on the far side, though. Bouncing off Gillen. It was loose. Gillen still faked the shot, trying to deke out Martin. And Martin comes up with the save. Montour, Dewey Porter, officials timeout territory. Still waiting for our opening goal of the second half as we've simply gone back and forth here. Steven Stamp is still with me. Spencer Tanguay still downstairs as the Demons control the ball. Roger Weiss trying to bounce the pass up top, and it goes for Brad Levick. And, of course, I'm Matthew Carrick alongside our JVI Sports Network crew. Final game of the CLax season. It is the Creators Cup Championship on Easter Sunday. Teeter outside. He looks into the corner. Another pass that ends up finding the turf for Tompkinson. Teeter gets it back, though. Hauled down, and he puts a toe on the line. And with the crease violation, we take the officials' timeout.
And Brad MacArthur is reaching in his pocket for the replay for the challenge flag, but he, of course, does not have one. So there will be no review. We'll take a look at it just to see. It looks like Teeter probably was in the crease, but I'm sure MacArthur would have loved to get a challenge on that one. No goals in the first, as you said, 8.5 minutes. We're going to take a peek right here. Here comes Teeter driving to the net. He's got Miller all over him. Oh, yeah, it looks like his right foot is on that goal line. This angle may give us a better view. There's the pass across. Teeter's just going to sprint down, accelerate past Miller.
A little more.
Yeah, he's on the line. Good call by John Szabo right down there.
Great call.
But
I think he may touch down. I think this left knee may touch down here as well. That's definitely in.
Oh, yeah.
And then the knees
double
down
whammy.
as well. So.
But this is the game, the last 7 minutes or so, that was envisioned when the Canadian Lacrosse League was created. They wanted a running game. They wanted it to be fast. We're going to join Spencer downstairs.
And, yeah, just to go back to that, this quarter has been a completely different story from the first half. As we both mentioned, Matt and Steve upstairs, this game has just turned quite around. Goaltending, a little shaky in the first half, but now they've both settled down in the net, and with tons of time left still in this game, we're not really sure what we're going to expect going into the third and fourth quarter. Send it back upstairs to Steve and Matt.
And, of course, if you're joining us late, Chase Martin coming on in relief of Jake Henhock. And Angus Donnelly has, well, for lack of a better term, been Angus Donnelly. Here comes Kyle Jamison off the wall. Elijah Printup shovels it in. Donnelly's going to drag it back to himself as the ball gets dragged out there by Barrie. Caleb Wiles. Mike Atwood is going to chase him all the way back into the official circle there. As Teeter, again, switching hands to get... He switched hands to put him on his wrong side. And as it went off a player, Demons player, A.J. Masson retreats to play it. No rush in his play. And from the outside, Teeter won't miss. Almost 12 and a half minutes. Sorry.
9.5.
Yeah, 9.5. No one told me I'd be doing math here today. But 5:34 to go, the 10th goal on the board for the Barrie Blizzard.
And somehow goals just seem to take on extra import when we've waited so long for one. And Teeter's just going to run off basically a butt pick there by Caleb Wiles. Again, it doesn't have to be a huge pick. You just have to get in someone's way and slow down their chance to play defense. And he does that there without making it a moving pick. And Teeter, nobody stepping in the crease that time. That was a beautiful shot by Mike Teeter. His 3rd goal of the game.
And what a job by Teeter to put the brakes on. You could see the slide coming in off the pick. 2 players were there. Gets around the first one, stops, just finds the gap in between them, and gets it behind Chase Martin. We'll see if that gets this offense back in the game. Here's Caravello for Scott. Over for Mike Teeter. Ken Aaron thought he had it in his stick. Montour picks it up and looking down the floor. He was expecting someone to be there. Now the troops arrive off the bench. Dewey Porter, Roger Weiss spinning and taking the shot. Montour, and freezing with the ball in front of him was Angus Dineley. As usual, solid self today, Angus Dineley. John Ray transitions all the way down and takes the shot. Travis Hill fills him in after. And we've got the Zamboni door is opened on the far side as 2 players collide there. The official will close that up as play continues back the other way. And a substitution penalty right in the front door. I think Mike Atwood, not sure, but it looked like he may have jumped out and then popped back in.
So Mike Miller will go over and serve that one for the Demons, and what a chance for the Blizzard to solidify their lead as they, they were looking really solid through the first half. A 4-goal run, a 3-goal run. They were really in charge. Those 2 late goals by Roger Weiss in the final minute and 10 seconds of the first half kind of turned things around and made it much more up in the air than it had looked to that point. So Barrie with a goal and a power play trying to grab the reins of this game back.
But as Barrie got those first goals, you could see Dineley didn't look all too comfortable at the very beginning. Maybe adrenaline or something else. There's a shot and then a goal and an extra shot. Travis Hill went after Wiles after he scored.
After he scored.
And A.J. Masson again playing peacemaker as he was the guy with the rough hand early. And Travis Hill has been asked to go to the box by Grant Spies, but he's not answering the call.
Pretty obvious penalty coming
now
here.
Now he will. As Caleb Wiles goes down limp. He was the guy that took the shot in the leg from Travis Hill after scoring.
Travis Hill very involved with Barrie when in the final game of the season here at the Barrie Molson Centre, and he's getting involved in some extracurriculars again. You can see that's well after the shot. Man. Wiles just backs away, fakes the pass, rips it, and Hill goes after him, chops him down around the hip, which is a tough spot to take that. Teeter jumps in to protect him. We'll see whether it's 2 or 5 for Hill.
It's like Johnny Ray's getting some work done as well, and now getting help to get off the floor is Caleb Wiles. And if Ron Henry was unhappy with the substitution call, I think he's going to be even more upset. It looked like, 5 on 5. I thought it was 5 minutes. But after the scrum, Wiles had enough strength in that leg to scrum around a little bit. And he does make his way off with the training staff. And nothing on the board, so as Travis Hill got dimed here.
It must be. We're about to hear the announcement from Diamond Jim Lowe.
Mike Atwood, A.J. Masson, they say hi to each other again, and this time Masson wins that battle, which is part of a much, much bigger war here this afternoon.
Yeah, 10 minutes to Travis Hill, and that's a big blow. We've talked about how he's one of their leading defenders and their captain. Also, yet another 10 minutes. They're short another runner.
And they'll be shorthanded here again as Ken Aaron loses his stick. It's broken in half and breaks in half on a cross check. And as players get a little close in the crease, there's Travis Hill in the penalty box. He'll be joined shortly by Ken Aaron and maybe somebody else as we're not done. Kyle Jamieson still shoving, and
looks like Jamison's taking Shane. No, that's
Zach Tompkinson.
Zach Tompkinson with him.
And again, it's Grant Spees picking guys out of the pile.
Spees has a bit of a predilection for nipping things in the bud. He really likes to stop, and he can have a pretty heavy hand with guys. I wonder if Barrie's a little displeased that there was no 2 or 5 minute penalty to go along with the 10 for the initial hit, because it didn't actually give them the power play. But now, as the Demons keep filling up the penalty box, Barrie should go to the man advantage.
Well, Zach Tompkinson starts taking the gear off. The only penalty up there is 2 minutes to Ken Aaron. So assuming that we've got more penalties of the double-digit variety. 3:41 to go. That'll put Tompkinson and Ken Aaron. Yep, so it sounds like 2 and 10 for Aaron and just 10 for Tompkinson, so it is a Blizzard power play.
Also 10 for Kyle Jamieson.
Oh, so maybe Aaron was only getting 2.
Yeah, I think Aaron's just getting the 2. Then Jamieson, Tompkinson,
Teeter.
all take the 10s. Again, just making this weekend's bench really short.
And more jousting in front. Looked like Shane Scott took a chop from Tom Montour. Scott's not a guy that'll answer those kind of things, though. So nothing transpires. Torrey Van Every. Oh, the pass from Montour looking for Van Every. Dinley went with Van Every. That opened the net. And a missed opportunity puts one on the board. That's the first in a while for the Demons.
Wow, that is a tough break for Dinley. As like you said, he went with Torrey Van Every, anticipating him to catch the pass. And Tom Montour is walking up to the string line on our left and chattering at the Barrie bench the whole way. Here's the pass, just gets away from Van Every, straight into the top corner. That's a lucky break for Ohsweken, but move the ball towards the net and good things can happen for you. It's 11-8 now, with the shorthanded goal by the Demons, and they have the ball back off the faceoff as Josh Becker moves it into the corner, and Tom Montour has it again. Hard pass across to Bissell. Bissell can't handle it with Coker on him. It's going to be over and back as he steps out of the restraining line.
Griffiths will take over at mid-floor, and they had sprung Teeter, if not for the stick of Tom Montour, who returns it for Bissell. Under 3 to go in the third quarter here before we'll change sides one final time. It is a 3-goal lead for the Barrie Blizzard. Their second ever playoff game, the first Creators Cup championship, not contested on native soil. Elijah Printup up for Wayne Van Every. Crawford pushes him aside. The ball was already out of his stick before he tried the one-handed dive attempt. And then Van Every gives a chop to John Ray. As Ray gets up slowly. Down in on goal. The English on that ball bounces it in front of Chase Martin. But it looked
That's
like...
over and back.
Yeah. Caravello all over that. He's waiting for the ball to go down from Montour. Does pick up, and he gets there just as 2 partners show up as well. Jason Crawford, one of them. Montour takes Caravello into the boards, and the arm of the official goes up. Here comes Dinley. Outside from Teeter, off the arm of Henhock. Shane Scott spins and rings it off the dasher way high into the rafters. And Tom Montour was so focused on Caravello, he didn't go after the rebound there.
Yeah, and Montour's going to go to the box where there's barely enough room for him with 3 Demons still in there. Here's going to see the goal. We're being told that it may be tipped on its way in.
No, Van Every's looking for the pass. And I think Dinley was expecting that one to be caught as well.
And there's Montour running Caravello into the boards, putting his hands up to claim innocence while he's kneeing Caravello's head back into the boards.
Yeah. So that's a deuce, just as the penalty to Ken Aaron expires. So another power play here. Blizzard still up 11-8. Oh, man. Caravello's not going to score any easier ones than that, as Teeter fakes that big shot again, changing directions mid-shot to get the pass away, and Caravello the beneficiary.
And once again, Caleb Wiles creating so much with those fakes. I mean, you just don't know what he's going to do. A lot of times when the ball sits in one player's stick for that amount of time, it's a bad thing. But Wiles, when he's on the power play here, he's just creating confusion and questions in the minds of those penalty killers. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? And then he flicks it so quickly over to Teeter, who lets it rip on the pass across to Caravello. And Caravello gets the goal and gets the big glory, but he had the easiest part of that whole play.
Chase Martin wasn't ready for that one to come out of the pile, as Massa just winged it down on him. Does get the paddle down, though, and Dewey Porter rips into a shot after the feed from Montour. Up floor, there's a huge hit as the stick of Wayne Van Every tied up in the body of A.J. Masson. It was Dinley feeding Masson, but off the bench was Wayne Van Every. Ross Smith tied up now by Dewey Porter. Roger Weiss. Another sidearm pass from Dinley. Koger beats Dewey Porter. 45 seconds to go before the end of the third. Teeter steps into a shot. That one off the stick of Torrey Van Every. Now Teeter after Van Every as he runs over center. Roger Weiss through to Montour. Torrey Van Every fakes over the shoulder as he's scored so many times. And I think Dinley knew the scouting report. And that fake opens up the side and puts the goal in. So the Demons getting a couple here.
And hopefully we'll see this replay from right at the beginning, because I'll tell you, Torrey Van Every makes this happen. First of all, he took the shot either off the stick, or I thought it actually might have gone off his leg in the other end. But here he comes. He's just getting the pass behind the back. Like you said, he does it so often. Makes the fake. Gets this beautiful pass. But this is all made by Van Every sprinting up the floor. He's a big man. Looks a little ungainly when he runs. He kind of reminds me of Robert Hope, Peterborough Lakers in Colorado, Mammoth defender, who doesn't look prepossessing when he runs. But, boy, he gets up the floor in a hurry for a big man. And that sprinting is why he was open.
Only guy not crowding the outdoor for the Demons was Tom Montour, and that's because he was busy chirping the Barrie bench. Chase Martin now makes more space as Elijah Printup goes on. We're in the final 10 seconds, so they'll go goalie out play. Up to Josh Becker. Return far side. And the pass is picked off. They're going to run out of time, though. As it goes down, it's going to bounce wide anyways from A.J. Masson is the shot. Mike Miller has a beef with the officials, but after 3 quarters of play, 12-9, the Barrie Blizzard. 15 minutes to go before we decide the Creators Cup champion.
Academy of Learning College has identified the gap between education and the stressors of the working world. We develop customized programs for each student at an affordable cost. Students can choose from over 30 diploma and certificate programs offered at any of Academy of Learning College's 17 Ontario-based locations. Simply a better way to learn. Learn more at academyoflearning.com. Fire Monitoring of Canada is the leader in the fire alarm monitoring industry, specializing in the early notification of fire alarm signals to the fire department. Our experienced customer service staff will work closely with you to develop the best solution for your specific monitoring needs, and our CFAA certified technicians are qualified to perform your installation quickly and efficiently. Be sure to choose Fire Monitoring of Canada because saving time saves lives. Visit us at fire-monitoring.com.
Welcome back inside the Barrie Molson Centre. Just a quarter remains here in the Craters Cup Championship game. Give you a little insight on what happened between the benches in that third quarter intermission break. Both coaches looked at their teams and said, you know what, we have to finish strong, no more penalties, and let's just focus on filling the net and trying to make it a closer game for the Ohsweken Demons. But the Barrie Blizzard, they just want to hold on and keep scoring and don't let off the gas pedal. We'll send it back upstairs for the fourth quarter.
Not involved in that discussion, the captain Travis Hill, Kyle Jamieson, or Zach Tompkinson for Barrie, as they picked up 10-minute misconducts that will carry over. And we're starting to think of our 3 stars of the game. Tweet us at JVI Video and use the hashtag 3stars to let us know. And Jason Crawford, even he thinks that's over and back as he stopped, trying to tiptoe the line and running over, but I guess they allow that as part of the face-off play. Michael Teeter takes over. A 3-goal lead for the Barrie Blizzard as we enter the final frame. Matthew Carrick, Steven Stamp, Spencer Tanguay, and our JVI Sports Network crew closing out the Canadian Lacrosse League 2015 season with the Creators Cup Championship game. Tom Montour picks up the rebound after the Chase Martin save, and I think Caleb Wiles maybe is picking up a penalty here as he...
Yeah, Wiles is taking a slashing penalty.
And Montour turns like he's going to go after him. They're talking here. I think Wiles trying to take someone with him. Wiles over to Printup, and Dinley goes to his right. Printup double clutched a little bit, and that gave him time, but it is Wiles who's going to go off.
The double clutch by Printup actually allowed Angus Dinley coming hard across the net to take himself out of the way of where Printup wound up going on the far side, but just on the outside of the post, and it springs up into the stands, well, into the mesh.
So as Spencer told us, both benches telling their guys to stay out of the box. That lasts all of 56 seconds as the slashing penalty gives the power play back to the Demons. If you're joining us late, no Chris Atwood, who was ejected after a 5-minute high sticking major. And dip and dunk, a couple moves down on the crease for Wayne Van Every. Puts it behind Dinley. And that power play lasts all 15 seconds.
And that's why if you're a Barrie Blizzard fan or a Barrie Blizzard player, you're a little nervous that Ohsweken has been hanging around in this game. Barrie has really had the better of the chances. They've had some solid runs, and yet you know that Ohsweken can do this, which is Roger Weiss to Wayne Van Every. Van Every didn't have the huge year that we've seen him have in the past, as you pointed out before, but he did score 3 goals a game. It's just he only played in 4 games.
Yeah. Mike Atwood wins that one, flips it over to Roger Weiss. Mike Atwood, the only player to appear in Creators Cup Championship games as a goaltender and a runner. I think not the only player in CLax to do that, as Nick Grasby put through the pads on. But the only player to do so in this game. And he was the starting goaltender too. It wasn't.
Oh, it was no novelty act. He was a star goaltender for them. He really turned that team's fortunes around when he was traded there.
His MVP season in 2012, when the Demons won the inaugural Creators Cup Championship. A skip, hop shot, taking a page out of Rookie of the Year Dan Keen's book. As Wiles returns to the floor after his penalty. Bissell down the far side. Spencer James is with him. And then one of the defenders dragged Roger Weiss to the floor, and they'll call that interference. As John Ray's going to go.
The pass was right into the stick of Dustin Caravello. He had no idea the penalty was coming. He was taken off up the floor, and it made Chase Martin hesitate for a second because Martin was heading to the bench. All of a sudden, he sees a white jersey coming down the floor with the ball, and he must have had one of those moments like, wait a second, did I see something wrong here? But it will give the Demons a chance to pull within 1 on this power play.
So they'll set up the horn again with no Chris Atwood. Tom Montour takes his spot, and they're going to keep Elijah Printup down low. Trying to feed the cutter. It ends up in the stick of A.J. Masson. And Masson trying to bounce it up for Teeter. You're never going to get that past Tom Montour. And Montour, they go down low again on the crease. Tom Montour from outside. And again, Donnelly sees that and turns it into the corner. Up top, Van Every shoots it off the backboards. Print up. Back for Roger Weiss, who steps through, and a lovely stick save there by Angus Donnelly. And as he comes out of the crease, Roger Weiss drops him. Tom Montour, Donnelly trying to get back, and he can't do it. Wayne Van Every, the beneficiary, and Donnelly having words with John Zabo.
Yeah, Donnelly upset about something. It looked like he just took a while to get back into his crease, but he had to throw that ball. He's running out of time and getting clogged up by the Ohsweken forecheckers. There was little chance of getting that pass through. They were all over it, ready to go. You can see he has to step out of the crease. Here comes Weiss, so he just rips it. Can't get it to the man ahead, and Donnelly is still working his way back. Van Everett. That's a nice pass up the other way after the quick steal. And it's a one-goal game. Mike Atwood takes the face-off, gives it off to Miller, and they're going to move right up into the offensive zone. Ohsweken with the momentum firmly on their side.
Rod Squire passing to the far side. He'll get it back. Part of that all-rookie team announced at halftime. Squire again. His sidearm shot skips through. Looked like it may have fooled Donnelly. Picked out of the crease nicely by Mike Miller. He's got Lee Nanticoke all alone. The quick stick and another save by Angus Donnelly.
Not the best day you'll ever see Angus Donnelly have, but even so, he has made some spectacular saves, and you can't blame the Demons for thinking they should maybe be ahead in this game at this point.
Dustin Caravello kept outside. Gives for Wiles. He's got 12 to shoot. Wiles over the top of Josh Becker. Into the corner they go. Dustin Caravello's there. They bring the horn up top. Caravello, no room to shoot, no open opportunities, so they'll just dump it in and get the defense out. Here's Tom Montour jogging over center floor. We've got ourselves a one-goal game. Oh, Donnelly coming to the left. Bit of a bad angle shot there for Dewey Porter on the crease. But Donnelly does slide over, slams the door anyways. 10 count is on for Teeter. Dewey Porter, they want him to get over center, and he does as the shot clock's at 21. That's pushing it a little close. Caravello. Teeter from outside. That one bounces off of Mike Atwood. And the first man there is Mike Maudsley. He collides and doubled over as Wayne Van Every holding the rib area as he went hard with Maudsley and straight down the tunnel for Van Every.
That was a big collision between Maudsley and Mike Atwood in front of the net.
Man, could you imagine if they lose both Chris Atwood and Wayne Van Every here?
Oh, that would be huge.
Less than 10 to go. Roger Weiss. He's been huge in this game. Torrey Van Every sets a pick on Levick. There's the shot from Weiss, and it's off the shoulder of Donnelly. Goes way high. No one says it hit anything. So as it comes down and Montour touches up, they reset. So Lee Nanticoke. Outside for Torrey Van Every. Maudsley, chop on him. A push from Torrey. And steered aside by Donnelly. Roger Weiss with the rebound and another fresh 30. Lee Nanticoke opening space for Montour. Going down is Donnelly, and it stays underneath him to keep it a one-goal game. Anxious moments on either bench now. Go ahead. Teeter sidearm shot. Thank you, Spencer. Spencer Tanguay in between the benches. As Mike Miller gets triple teamed. Eventually one of those sticks. It's Shane Scott, looks like. As his stick check jars the ball free. They go up for Dustin Caravello. Barrie's bench was upset that I believe it was Ross Smith that got dumped in the offensive zone as that transition was working the other way. But Jason Crawford up for Teeter, steps into a shot, and that one ends up in the jersey, in the clothing of Chase Martin.
You don't see that very often. They didn't like the ball, so they got a new one from Grant Spies.
That was kind of weird. And Grant Spies didn't check it for marks or sweat or anything after going up under the equipment, but Van Every, as Masson pushes him aside. Van Every again, the pick and roll with Dewey Porter. Porter, shot clock winding down. He just tried to shovel it on net. Why not? It worked earlier in the quarter. But this time, it does stay in front of Dinley. Shane Scott walking in, a quick sidearm shot. Minimal wind up there. John Ray has got Roger Weiss in his face. They exchange a few words, and the play goes back the other way. Their players in the box are standing as the 10-minute misconducts have expired. We're waiting the officials' timeout, which would release a parade of guys. 3 out of the box: Kyle Jamieson, Travis Hill, and Zach Tompkinson. Maudsley coming down again, though. Leans into the check of Squire. The shot there in on Chase Martin.
Hey, he didn't just lean into the check. He initiated contact, which is a pretty smart play when you're a big, strong guy heading down so that you can control when you're getting contact from that defender.
Caleb Wiles came out the door. It was supposed to be Spencer James, so lucky for Barrie there as Wiles had to take the long route around and for James to get out. Print up. Bears down on Mike Gillen. He switches hands to get it up for Teeter. And Teeter stepping in over the top from it looked like the wrong side, and Chase Martin goes down. 6.5 to play now. Still a 1-goal game. Remember, we showed you last week 7 playoff games out of now we've played 13 decided by 1 goal, including 3 overtimes in the playoffs in CLax history. And that, of course, includes last year's final, a 10-9 victory for the Niagara Lock Monsters over this Ohsweken Demons team trying through the legs. Wayne Van Every, who's returned to the floor. And there's Tom Montour, Roger Weiss dragging it out, trying to nonchalantly pass it through. But there's Jason Crawford. As it bounces off him, the battle is on. Roger Weiss able to pick it up on the wrong side of half. As they go far side, Josh Becker. Koger keeps him aside. Montour steps in, and that one just goes wide. Becker gets it again with 15 on the shot clock. All alone in front. Van Every shoots it off the post. So here's Montour.
The Demons getting all kinds of pressure onto the on the Blizzard here, but Dinley is really stepping up. There's another shot by Wayne Van Every. Demons with the ball back up top. Squire gets it across to the far side and gets the return pass. So they've got lots of time to shoot here and some gradually tiring Barrie defenders.
And John Ray all over Montour. He didn't get a call before. Well, I thought he was going to get one there, but it's just going to be the officials' timeout on the possession call as Montour went down and Ray grabbed on. The penalty box door opens, and for the first time, there's nobody in there. 13 CLax playoff games, only 4 of them decided by 3 or more goals, including the semifinal. They got Barrie this far and the 2013 final. 2 of them decided by 2 goals. And when the Creators Cup is on the line, this is what Chris Atwood has done. Looking for his 3rd championship, 14 points in 3 games, including an MVP in 2012. Spencer Tanguay between the benches as the teams get their final talk with 5 minutes to go.
Thanks, Matt. Just want to point it out the fact for the Ohsweken goaltending situation with Jake Henhock leaving the game in the first quarter. Martin coming in, played solid, and now going down the 4th quarter, the bench has just relied to him and said, you know what, you've been great. He's coming out of his crease. He's cutting down all of his angles, and he's been great for the Ohsweken Demons as the Junior B call-up for the Demons this evening. Back up to you guys.
He's been on the roster the entire year, a Junior B backup and an intermediate backup in Brandon Stiers. And the tying goal comes from outside off the set play. Folks, we're going to go down to the wire here, as we've done so many times. We showed you in that graphic.
What a huge goal for the Demons. They've been putting the pressure on, just bearing down, and now they've come all the way back on just a hard sub shot. Wayne Van Every really stepping up.
And Mike Atwood, A.J. Masson, all day they've been in each other's face. They've been staring each other down at the face-off, and this one's a stalemate. Becomes so important as Gillen shoves someone over the top. Mike Miller, as they're still battling here. Masson, finally Atwood just steamrolls him as the ball squirts free. Mike Miller, and then Atwood over the back of Masson now. Still no call. Still no possession as they're on the far side. Right near the penalty boxes. This is how a couple of our scrums have started here. Both officials, John Zabo and Gord Brown, right close. Taking a look. Mike Miller drops down. And it does finally squirt free. It's going to end up in the stick of Jason Crawford. And there's a couple really tired bodies down there getting up. Ball's loose in the carpet. First man there, a ton of hustle from Caleb Wiles. He's going to take the long way around. He's got Chase Martin out of the crease. Gets back, resets. What a save in between the legs. Looking to release Kyle Jamieson now, as that draw team was some tired getting off. 3.5 to play. Here comes Torrey Van Every. Spencer Janes on him. Van Every now, he goes over the back. And Janes picks it up, and he's barreled into by Jamieson. Van Every, huge run. He goes in on Crawford, and Crawford goes down hard, and it's going to be an elbowing call against Torrey Van Every.
Wow, what a time to take a penalty. Very intense, a lot of stuff going on all over the floor.
Martinez Tompkinson who goes down.
They finally reached the threshold at which a call is going to be made here late in the fourth. Chase Martin with yet another great save. He's given up just 3 goals.
Keep your eye on
coming in for Jake Hendhock, and here's Tompkinson going down.
This is Van Every here going after the loose ball, and there was no quitting his hustle on that entire exchange. And he was just going hard, but gets caught going a little too hard with Tompkinson in the boards. There they call it an elbow. And 2 minutes on the board. Penalties has been the story here today, and it may be the story heading down the stretch here with Van Every in the box. Wiles to Caravello to Shane Scott. Back for Caleb Wiles. Teeter comes up now, tries to change up to go to the right side of Chase Martin. It bounces wide off the glass into the private boxes.
Mike Teeter trying so hard to make a difference here for his club, and he may be advised to just dial down the excitement a little bit. He started taking a couple of shots where I think a little ill-advised. And he's got to remember that he's effective when he's playing in the team concept.
Well, Mouse Henry was worried about the first 5 minutes, the adrenaline being high on both sides there. How about the final 2.5 as we're tied?
If Rob Koger made that play on purpose, that was a brilliant play. Getting double teamed, and he flicks it off the boards to another player.
He has had an incredible game, Rob Koger.
Yeah, he's been excellent. Ooh.
Here's Wiles, keeping it outside. Wiles to Scott. His shooting lane's not there. So Wiles gets it back again, a couple fakes before shooting off the back of Ken Aaron. And the shot clock expires as Wiles was cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Montour shielding Van Every from the ball. Bit of a wild swing from Wiles. But Shane Scott playing defense on Wayne Van Every, keeps him outside, chases the loose ball, though that opened up a lane. And then in front of Donnelly off the post before the Barrie Blizzard find it. And it's John Ray who's going to bring it up. Minute 40 now. 24 remains in Torrey Van Every's penalty. Wiles controlling the offense here. Him and Teeter play catch on the outside. Wiles spins and fires. Martin doesn't know where it is. Wiles gets it back, though. As it bounces to him, everyone swarms in on Wiles. Here's Shane Scott, 1:20. Scott fakes, fires. Off the post, off the back. Barrie says it goes in. The official says no, as it's under Martin. Up the floor, out of the box is Torrey Van Every diving. Travis Hill, this time he does contact Van Every. There's a pile up in the crease, and the Barrie player runs over Mike Miller. Miller to the crease, the shot, and off the shoulder of Dinley. Final minute for Caleb Wiles. He goes far side, Caravello. Fans start to rise in the Barrie Molson Centre. Tied up in the Creators Cup final for the second year in a row. Dewey Porter on Caravello. He passes off for Mike Teeter. Here's Teeter around the corner. They want a moving pick call on Mike Maudsley as Travis Hill drop. Oh, behind the back, no looker, just bounces wide. 32-26 on the clock. The Demons bench is calling for timeout. And we'll rest up before what should be the final flurry. Trying to get our final 3 stars together up here in the booth, as well as our game MVP. 30.38 on the clock. We are knotted at 12. It will be Ohsweken Demons possession in the game that close.
What a comeback by the Ohsweken Demons to score the only 3 goals so far of the fourth quarter. If they can make it 4-0, they will, it looks like, be the Creators Cup champions. But there it is. Off the post, as you said, off of Martin. He spins and keeps it out. Justin Caravello raises the arms, but looks like it was wishful thinking.
Cross the line and beat Martin. But as of now, after looking at it again, it does look like it's inconclusive, and there's no way to tell if that ball actually crossed the goal line.
Let me guess, Spencer, were they Barrie players?
All 4 of them.
Yes. Running off the floor?
2 of them were, yeah.
Oh, okay. It was darn close, but I think from us up here, it looked like it did stay out. Chase Martin to the bench. And they want the Demons to close the door. They go for broke here. No Chris Atwood. They will send the big boys, though.
Bit of a break for Ohsweken that they actually, a couple of seconds ran off while they were calling for the timeout, but they get the full 30 with 30.8, so there won't be a couple of seconds of cushion at the end that they'd have to worry about the long shot.
Everyone feeling it now, and hardly anybody's sitting down. The cup is making its way, as is the MVP trophy in behind. You can see it on the top of your screen there. Van Every de Montour, 10 on the shot clock. Here comes the play. It's out of the reach of Elijah Printup. Dinley to get there. Bounces off his stick. No, Grant Spees calls it off. Oh, boy.
I'm not sure what he's calling exactly. I can't wait to see this one again because that was a weird play. And it looked like,
boy. Unless this player's in the crease for the jump ball.
Oh, yeah, he's in the crease.
Yeah, and he comes down.
Yeah, no, Van Every ran through the crease to get there. 2 steps in. You can see right here. Both feet are in. There's no question. Great call by Grant Spees.
Incredible call for the official of the year, Grant Spees, with the game on the line.
Yeah, tell him for us he got it right.
So they'll have 2.62, and Wayne Van Every picks up a penalty. Wayne Van Every picks up a penalty on that exchange. 2.62. Teeter at center. Montour there. Oh, they tried to get it to Maudsley for the quick stick. And the return down the second year in a row. Free lacrosse to decide the Creators Cup championship.
What a game this is. We're going to take a break, but you better come back because this is as exciting as the game gets.
I love this league.
Inside the Barrie Molson Centre, and we are headed to overtime in the 2015 Creators Cup Championship game between the hometown Barrie Blizzard and the visiting Ohsweken Demons. It's 12-12 after 60 minutes. A crazy story has unfolded. Referee and the official of the year, Grant Spees, has come over now and warned both teams that Barrie will have 1 timeout remaining and Ohsweken no timeouts. The teams will sit for just 2 minutes, and we will get back underway in the overtime period in just a couple moments. We'll send it back upstairs for the call of the overtime quarter.
And the bigger story, I think, is that Wayne Van Every will start in the box. On that jump ball, something happened. Either on the off ball, there he is, one of the big offensive weapons for Ohsweken. And he will sit for 1:57. Just like they used to play in the driveway when the street lights came on. Mom calls you for dinner and you say, next goal wins. Mike Atwood, AJ Masson, they've gone at it all day, and they'll do it for the most important time right here, the opening face-off of overtime. A full 15-minute period, sudden victory. Whoever scores next will get the hardware. Last year, it was a 2-on-1. Roger Weiss slid over to take the shot away from Andrew Potter, the beneficiary, Kevin Sullivan, and the Demons will start. Atwood from Montour, standing tall. Dinley, he's not sure where it is. It was caught up in the throat guard after hitting his helmet, and it drops down in front of him. Spencer James now. 4 Demons rush back, matching only 1 Barrie Blizzard player, rather.
And the Demons well recall that they had several chances last year in the overtime, whereas Niagara scored on pretty much the first really good scoring opportunity they had.
Here's Wiles. Shane Scott lets it rip. It bounces, in the midsection of Elijah Printup, and he drops immediately.
And Barry's in there complaining that he's covering the ball up. And Printup was only thinking about how much that hurt. He is heading straight down the tunnel.
Not sure where that got him, but
nowhere good.
Shane Scott, Caleb Wiles, Teeter, Mike Maudsley. Mike Teeter again, back for Wiles. You got to believe it may be one of those two. Oh, Shane Scott with the shot. And again, it skips wide of the net and off. The official.
Barry's saying that it went off of a Ohsweken player. The officials are going to talk about it, and they're right. It will be Barrie possession and a fresh 30. That is huge.
Gord Brown came all the way from mid-floor to verify with John Zabo. And Caleb Wiles will start again. Wiles, Shane Scott. Back for Wiles, over the top. This one scoots wide. Montour is underneath it. On his horse is Wiles. So's Shane Scott. Wiles drags down Montour, and the arm goes up on Grant Spees. The race is on. Chase Martin gets to the bench, though. Bringing it out, Travis Hill. Still 20 seconds in Wayne Van Every's penalty. Hill dives through. It stays in front of Dinley, and Maudsley touches up, and they'll just call the holding penalty. Here is last year in the opening period of overtime. Again, we'll keep putting 15 on the clock till someone scores. As you can see, it took 2 minutes. Right about this point in the game last year,
It
too.
was.
Oh, boy.
And that was Andrew Potter, right, making that pass. And I remember
passed
talking
off
to
Sullivan, yes,
to
sir.
Sullivan, and talking to Sullivan, saying, "How surprised were you to get that pass?" And he said, "I was shocked that he threw me that ball." You know, I mean, there's Andrew Potter, one of the top offenses in the league.
And I talked to Andrew Potter,
Yeah.
who said, I saw Kevin Sullivan. I played with him in the summer.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to score. So they're going to wait 7 seconds to get Wayne Van Every onto the floor before they get a full power play. And it is Caleb Wiles in the box. So both offensive superstars have sat here. Here's Printup. Elijah Printup feeding through John Ray at the active stick. It falls down for Jason Crawford. A hat trick much this way on Thursday. Scores! Jason Crawford wins it for Barrie.
The nightmare recurs for the Ohsweken Demons, a breakaway chance, and Jason Crawford was, he's been a guy who's been in and out of the lineup, and I talked to Brad MacArthur before the game and said, I thought, you were doing this, and he said, you know what, we were going to make a change, but Jason Crawford was lights out last week. He earned a spot in this game, and now he has earned the championship for the Barrie Blizzard, and the fans go wild.
Brad MacArthur told me after that game Thursday, he said, I got to figure out who to sit. Jason Crawford was a last-minute addition on Thursday night. He saw the hat trick. And Wayne Van Every has just tossed his stick to a fan in the crowd. Man, they're hanging their heads, but what a game for the second year in a row. No city deserves this more than Barrie, I think.
Yeah, what a fantastic performance by both teams. Barrie to get out to the solid lead. Ohsweken working so hard to get back into this game. That is a remarkable, remarkable performance.
Brad MacArthur lifts up Mike Teeter. Welcome to our post-game show, ladies and gentlemen. It takes 2 minutes and 13 seconds in the first overtime for Jason Crawford to go in transition and score. He beats about 4 Demons players on the way. The first one's Roger Weiss again. Elijah Printup is next. Tom Montour, and finally Chase Martin, the Junior B stud goaltender. Handshake lines, our 3 stars, the trophy presentation, and the MVP of the game still to come. Steven Stamp making his way downstairs. Spencer Tanguay already there. We will have that and more, but the Barrie Blizzard are the 2015 Creators Cup champions. There's a look at Chase Martin, a spectacular Junior B career. That young man has a great lacrosse career ahead of him. Unfortunately not to be tonight, comes in relief of Jake Henhock. And much like it was last year, there's a trailer on the play. Much like it was last year, it's not the guy you expect. You think it would be Wiles or Teeter or someone else. Shane Scott had a couple opportunities as well. Coming right at you, Jason Crawford. And the celebration that's going to last a long time here in Barrie. Thursday night when we were here, it took overtime for the Barrie Colts to take out the Belleville Bulls in 4 straight. Tonight, it takes 2 minutes and 13 seconds for the Barrie Blizzard to score and knock off the Ohsweken Demons. The second year in a row, the Demons come oh so close. posing for the cameras, including our video camera and local media down here. CTV News in Barrie has been very supportive of this club, including naming Caleb Wiles their athlete of the week earlier last season. And they'll pose for a picture as well, so that footage can get back to Master Control, so you can see it tonight on CTV News in Barrie. Jason Crawford. Making their way to the trophy.
So once he's done there, I was going to move Crawford. Okay. I don't know.
Thursday night, Jay Priest beat Spencer James for Best Beard. He'll accept that award greatly. Caleb Wiles, our first star on Thursday. He was kind of surprised tonight. He is the Creators Cup game MVP. Standing with Jim Veltman, Commissioner of the Canadian Lacrosse League. Jeff Dowling, Executive Vice President and Director of Lacrosse Operations, is on the floor as well. Diamond Jim Lowe urging the crowd that is still here on Easter Sunday to continue. Mike Maudsley hoists the cup. And we'll let them do this as Steven Stamp has met up with Chase Martin.
Okay, we're down on the floor here. I'm joined by Chase Martin, and I can tell you, you would have been the most valuable player of the game if you guys had won in overtime there. Great comeback. You played great for the team. Really exciting game, but pretty bitter to swallow that pill.
Yeah, I mean, we came one shot short, and in this league, it's anything can happen. You know, on any given day, any team can win, and you know, we got a bad bouncer at the end. They just transitioned it up, and you know, we just came on the short end of the stick this time.
Did you feel pretty confident going in? You hadn't played a lot this year, but coming in last week in the semis must have helped you be ready.
Yeah, well, last week I came off the bench, and I really helped the team get here, and that was a big confidence booster there. Thanks.
When you come in, I don't know if you can expect when you're down by 3 going into the fourth quarter to shut them out for the final 15 minutes with all the potent weapons they've got.
You know, I don't know. I just came off the bench and just tried to throw everything I had at the ball, and I don't know what else really to say.
How close was that one that they were talking about to going in, the one that slipped behind you?
Oh, I felt it hit off my back leg, and luckily I turned back in time, and it was, you know, I think maybe not even half a foot within coming off the line. I just reached back and grabbed it. And
nice. Now, the most of the guys seem obviously pretty disappointed, but when I was talking to Rod Squire, he said, hey, it's the way it goes. It was a great game, 2 great teams.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the way it goes. Sometimes it goes, sometimes it doesn't, and really just went Barrie's way this time.
We appreciate you coming out with us. Going to let you go join your teammates. Congratulations on a great game and a great season.
Thank you. See you later.
All right, I'm going to throw it over to Spencer Tanguay. He's running across the floor to get to his next interview. The man of the hour is Jeremy.
Back upstairs as Derek Collins, the first win in Barrie Blizzard franchise history, came over the Brampton Inferno. The goaltender that he faced that night, Rob Blaisdell. Joined upstairs by Ron Ruff now. And Ron, you've been watching this Barrie team for a couple of years. You told me at the beginning of the season you thought they could win it all. What was it about that squad that you liked from day one?
Well, it started last year. You know, they went from an 0-4 team to a 4-4 team. They almost won their first playoff game last year, and this year here at home with a great crowd, they came out, won their both home games, and here they are as champions.
Well, the biggest guy, part of that, the hero, Jason Crawford, joins Spencer Tanguay downstairs.
All right, I'm here on the floor with the game winner and the hero, Jason Crawford. Jason, just explain what happened on that game-winning goal.
I tell you, everybody's a hero on this floor for this team. Our goalie Gus was unbelievable. It just came off the boards. Missed the pass over there. It came off the glass, and I just got it here. And all I had to do was beat one guy, and there wasn't one guy that was going to stop me from going to that net. And it was unbelievable.
What's the atmosphere like in a building? It's a full crowd. It's loud. What's it like to win on home turf?
Again, it's unbelievable. You know, we had great fans all year long. And just put a show on like that for them. Believe me, I was a little scared going towards the end of that game, but we pulled her out. We did.
Alrighty, Jason, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Steven Stamp is right next to Spencer Tanguay, and I believe he's got Caleb Wiles.
Quickly from one player to the next, Caleb Wiles, the MVP, also the guy who ran over and got Angus Dinley to be part of all the championship photos. How exciting is it for you, especially since you had to sit in the box at the end there for a part of it?
I was just trying to stop their guy from going to the net. Tough call by the ref. I mean, not much time left. I had to try and stop him from going to the net, so I just tried to stop him. Fortunately, turned into a penalty. Croft made a great play. The guy's been doing it for us all year. Got wheels like no one's business. Went down and buried the game winner for us. Absolutely great. So happy.
4 goals, 4 assists for you today. You know, you showed off that when you weren't having a good shooting night Thursday, you could still do it with the pass, but tonight it looked like you were much more on your shooting game.
Yeah. On Thursday it was tough. I wasn't really scoring much. We got a lot of good guys. I mean, I don't even mind if I score. I just like to win, you know. Winning's the funnest part about sports like this, and if I can contribute by not scoring and passing the ball and we still win, that's just fine with me, you know. So I think that's kind of helped me, especially coming back from the pro leagues, learning some stuff up there from some guys that are really good ball players. So I'm just happy to learn some stuff like that. Hopefully I get another chance next year, and this is just great, just soaking it up right now.
Do you find you developed some maturity and some a bit more knowledge by learning from those guys in the NLL?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the whole part of the game, I mean, is growing into a player where you can play with your team. This isn't an eye in sports. This isn't your tennis. This isn't your squash. This is playing a game where you got to use your whole team, right? So, I mean, even like you said, when I couldn't score on Thursday, other guys picked it up and scored for us, right? So, big time team is a big part of me, and especially coming back from the bigs, and you really see it. I mean, they really show the team atmosphere, and team means everything. And that's how a winning atmosphere comes together when you really play as a team, right? So.
Nice. Congratulations to Caleb Wiles, the MVP, and more importantly, a member of the champion, Barrie Blizzard. We're going to go back over to Spencer. Congrats.
Okay. We're actually back upstairs as Spencer tracks down his last interview. Jason Crawford said, I only had to beat one guy. I thought it was like 4.
Well, I didn't. He had nobody in his rearview mirror. He just went and go. There we just see in the replay.
Yeah,
he just picks
let's
it up.
count 'em.
There's one. There's 2. Oh.
Beats one in a big way. Tom Montour, Elijah Printup. First one was Roger Weiss. There's Montour, and then Chase Martin. So I think that Spencer has found Angus Donnelly in the pile, and the MVP of the season, the top goaltender, now stands by with our host this afternoon.
All right, Angus Donnelly, congratulations on the big win. Explain what the feeling like is being a Crater Cup champion on home soil in front of a great crowd.
Yeah, I mean, a ton of credit to our fans, right, who kept showing up, and we had a terrible start at home in the beginning of the year. Coach said stick with the process. I think we did that. We had to do that this game as well. There's no greater feeling than winning it at the end.
What went right for Barrie going down the stretch? It was a really back-and-forth game in the first half. A lot of goals, then it slowed down with Chase Martin going in and replaced for Henhock. What just happened? It became a save battle back and forth in the second half.
Yeah, I thought Marty was outstanding today. He really gave him a chance to get back in it. That team will not go away. We knew that. I think we showed that we won't either. I'm really proud of the pushback that we showed there when it gets 12-12. A lot of teams might have folded up, but we didn't. That's a credit to us.
And finally, what is it like when it's a 12-11 game, 12-12? What's the feeling? You got to control your nerves and just make the big save.
Yeah, I'm hoping they hit me at that point for sure. You know, the defense did such a great job of holding it, giving up the shots we wanted in those last 5 minutes. And then you get Crawford going up the floor doing what he does best.
All righty, congratulations. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Angus Donnelly, downstairs, Spencer James is with Steven Stam.
All right, I'm here with the captain, Spencer James, and you give up the only 3 goals of the fourth quarter. They tie it up, and you get it in overtime. How exciting was that moment, and what were you thinking when you saw Jason Crawford break in?
To be honest, I was hoping he just scored because they were odd man coming back against us, and we just needed to get out of that. Their goalie stepped up huge for them in the fourth, and it was nice just to get that goal and get the game over with.
Angus Donnelly made some great saves for you guys again. Maybe not his best game of the year, but boy, did he make big stops when you needed him.
Oh, yeah, he's been our backbone all year. He allows our defense to play that kind of, not loose, but high pressure, allow the outside shots to come in because we know we got him back there. He's going to make those stops for us.
Now, the defense of Barrie, you guys have given up the fewest goals all year. You're named one of the defensive players of the year in the league. Rob Koger gets some props, but there's so many guys doing a good job. And today, it looked like Ohsweken really got creative to create some of those chances.
Yeah, they were breaking us down pretty good today. That's the thing about our high-pressure D. Once we get moving, you can get us running around a little bit. And I think a little bit of the excitement from the game, a little bit of pressure in the fourth there. We got a little uncomposed, but we held it together for long enough.
Some discipline issues on both sides, a lot of penalties in that game. What was the talk from Brad MacArthur and the coaches as you went along?
What we were saying the whole time, that we wanted to get them excited, get them off their game a little bit, get them going to the penalty box. Unfortunately, we were going with them, so that kind of went against our game plan a little bit. But we just stuck to the plan, and it eventually worked out.
Championship in Barrie, the first Creators Cup off of native soil. How's it feel to get that for this club that has come so far from the first year and a half?
Oh, it feels awesome, right? Once Brad came in last year, it was a whole culture change. So we were working it all year to what he wanted us to do, and it was just buying in, coming together as a team, and here we are.
Congratulations, thanks to the captain. We're going to throw it over to Jeremy. We'll see who he's got This was Spencer Janes, the captain of the Barrie Blizzard Creators Cup champions.
Spencer Janes, the captain, coming over, actually picked in the expansion draft from the Brampton Inferno, where he came over, again, with Rob Blaisdell and Brian Beasel. They've got their stamp all over this team, as does Brad MacArthur, and leadership has been a great part. Award winners up and down this lineup. We talked to the offensive player. We've talked to the MVP. Let's go down and join head coach of the year. He's joining Spencer Tangay right now.
I'm with the head coach of the Barrie Blizzard, Brad MacArthur. What went right going down that stretch for the Blizzard tonight?
Not much, actually. I mean, we were up by 4, and we took some undisciplined penalties and got ourselves into some trouble. I think for a young team, we had a bit of a lack of composure, but we had never been in this position before where it meant this much. And we just told the boys, stay the course, things will be fine. And they got tougher again in overtime when we ended up taking that penalty. But the guys were working hard. And we got a fortunate bounce, and Croft was able to rip down the side. I think he put a shot 5-hole. I'm not sure. I saw the referee's arms go up, the net moved, and he looked pretty happy. So away we went.
What's the feeling on the bench when the team can count on Dineley to make save after save and keep it a 12-12 game, even when they're struggling down the stretch?
Yeah, well, the great thing about Angus, he makes saves that we don't expect him to, but he makes the saves that we do expect him to. Just because of where we play our defense and how we play it, we want to give him a general idea of where the shots are coming from, and we know he's not going to save everything, but he's certainly been a backbone for this team. And I think our defense, even though it was a pretty high-scoring game, I think our defense is something that got us to this point. And at the end of the day, they were the ones that scored the big goal for us to win it. But no credit. Our offensive guys, they're doing a really good job too. We got 12 goals, and they led us as well. So a good effort all the way around.
The tension is clear between both Ohsweken and Barrie as teams. How, as a coach, do you control your team and settle them down? Because you have to be able to play 5-on-5 if you're going to win the lacrosse game.
Well, a lot of it's about accountability, and they're always tense games. I mean, you could have put Durham in here, Niagara, whoever it is. We just happen to have a really good rivalry with the Demons, and they're a well-coached team, and they're veteran. They've been in championships before, and to the point where our guys were reacting and maybe doing things that were a little bit out of control, to the point where we were losing some self-composure. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's a learning curve for us. It's the first time we've been to this game and into that situation. So you just tell them keep the highs high, keep the lows low, and try and find that average in the middle. And then when you do that, keep it and stay on that level, because at the end of the day, like I said, guy ripping down on a man short doesn't know how to do that if he's too high or too low.
All righty, congratulations. Thanks a lot for your time.
So Brad MacArthur, the head coach of the year, and when you make a coaching change mid-season, Ron, how hard is it for guys like they did last year to just immediately buy in and create a culture like they did that carried over into this year?
It's very hard. That's where the players need the credit that they get. They deserve the credit. Brad MacArthur, he put the plan in action, but the players, they had to follow it, and they did a wonderful job last year, and this year we're seeing the fruit of their labors.
Stephen Stamp has tracked down the commissioner of the Canadian Lacrosse League and played in the Toronto Rock alumni game last night, Friday night. And Jim Veltman is down on the floor with Stephen Stamp.
Okay, I'm joined on the floor for our last interview with the commissioner, Jim Veltman. And boy, we had overtime last year, overtime this year. You can't ask much more from a championship game.
No, you can't. I mean, two teams. I mean, Barrie finished first in the regular season, Ohsweken second. You have two teams that went head-to-head with those penalties at the end. I thought, is someone going to win on a power play? And lo and behold, the short-handy wins it. Amazing.
Unbelievable. And Jason Crawford, I talked to Spencer James, and he said, I was just thinking you better score, because if you send them back here 4-on-3 or 4-on-2, they weren't going to be too happy with him, but he put it in.
Yeah, it was an amazing effort. I mean, to pick it up off the glass and just outrun, two people, I think, were trying to chase him down and get that shot off with sticks all over his stick. Just an amazing individual effort that ended up in a championship win. And, he's going to remember that for the rest of his life. And it's a great effort.
Yeah, great game. The big comeback by Ohsweken. And I was saying at one point during the third quarter especially, this is the game that you envisioned when the league was being created, a back and forth, a running game with lots of excitement.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted. You know, I mean, it ends up on a transition goal, and we tried to improve the transition in this league compared to other leagues, and we're really happy with the kind of product that is out here, and you can just see the creativity amongst these players, and some of the goals are just highlight reel goals that, you know, could be on any kind of sports center any night of the week.
The season plays out. The Barrie really establishes themselves in the second half of the season as the team to beat, but it comes right down to the end. What do you see for next year to try and top this? Because I think it's been the best level of play and the most exciting season that CLax has had in its 4 years.
It really has. I mean, all 5 teams were in it, almost near to the end. I know Niagara are probably out, but only mathematically they were out. It wasn't because they didn't have enough points or anything like that. So to have 4 teams go into the playoffs, everybody had an equal chance. You could really see it even in the semifinals that, you know, everybody had an equal chance at the finals. And then the finals itself, I thought Barrie was going to run away with it at first during the game, and then all of a sudden Ohsweken came back. What a great ending, you know, overtime winner. Yeah, what can I say? It's just amazing. And this is how we envision this league to be as close as possible. Everybody has an equal chance at the beginning of the year. And, you know, Barrie's come a long way. I remember their very first game here was 20-6 against Niagara, and it looked like, oh, this is going to, you know, self-destruct already in the first game. And look, you know, 3 years later or 2 years later, they're here in a championship game. It's amazing.
And the league really has 2 purposes the way it's evolved. One is to provide great lacrosse, a great product, a place for these guys to play and for fans to see it. The other is to produce talent to go on to the National Lacrosse League, and that's been happening both sides. A lot of guys going up to the NLL, a lot more guys who could go and play at that level, but also this product itself, you've got to be pretty pleased with.
We're really pleased. I mean, the NLL, it's almost like they don't have enough players or teams to offer players positions. I mean, really, it's only 9 teams, 25-man rosters. They're pretty topped out right now. So we're sort of the up-and-coming league. So we don't only see ourselves as a developmental league. We also see ourselves as a league on its own. And we want to build this. This is what we want to build. And not just build it because we're a developmental league. We want to build it because we believe in our product. We believe in how we play the game, how it's played, the excitement. We try to keep the entertainment value as high as possible.
Any big plans you can share with us for next year? Or are you going to take a couple days to digest and then start planning for that?
Yeah, we're going to take a couple days to digest. We're going to run some evaluations, at the highest level, and we're going to talk about what the future holds for this league. Obviously, we have our 5-team base, but after that, whether we're going to expand or not, we haven't really talked about yet, and we'll see.
Jim Veltman, the commissioner of the Canadian Lacrosse League, which has just put on yet another fantastic Creators Cup championship game. We're going to throw up to Matt Carrick upstairs to wrap things up.
I'm joined by Ron Ruff, and big thank you to the guys downstairs, Spencer Tanguay, Steven Stamp, and Jeremy Hogel, who's been flying around there with the camera on his shoulder and wires everywhere. They've done a spectacular job for us downstairs, and Gary Morrison acting as a floor producer as well. So, Ron, I mean, this has been a long time coming for not just this team in Barrie, but just Barrie lacrosse in general. I know we've sort of touched on it over the season, but you said back in the 70s, the Tornadoes, the Lakeshores were in and out, Junior A, and now we finally got it.
Well, in 2003, we had the Barrie Tornadoes win a Founders Cup, and then in 2004, the Lakeshores and Senior B had some success. But after that, it's been relatively quiet, and fans from Barrie have never seen lacrosse at this caliber and compete with this excitement. It's been amazing. I hope it carries forward from here on and to the unlimited future.
And a lot of young fans especially members of the Barrie Bombers, I understood, were here on Thursday night. What does it do for the next generation that comes in here in Barrie and as lacrosse is concerned?
Well, we're already experiencing it in our minor system, the Barrie Bombers. You know, I'm running the midget team, and I have 30 kids on my tryout roster. The Bantams, there's another 32. Big numbers in our peewees, novices, and tykes. So this is an absolute growth in Barrie that we're experiencing now, and hopefully not only in the CLax we can compete, but also in the summertime as well.
Steven Stamp and Spencer Tanguay have found each other, and they will have their final thoughts before we come back to wrap the Creators Cup Championship game.
Spencer, you're the new kid on the block. I'm going to give you the first final words here.
Well, that game really impressed me, and the full house here, as we saw in the Barrie Molson Centre, a 13-12 final. Really could have went either way with Ohsweken coming back and it could have been anyone's game, like I said. But a crazy finish to this championship final game.
I've been watching this league for 4 years, starting off with some shaky beginnings, like any new league is going to face, but it's really grown. I think the product is terrific. What a final game. The level of play, as we've seen this year, is just higher than ever, and it was the most thrilling Creators Cup since last year. I think maybe even more exciting. I don't know. They've both been great, but this was just a fantastic game to finish off the year, and it's hard to believe it's going to be 9 months until we get to do it again. Let's go upstairs to Matt to wrap things up.
9 months till we get to do it again here in this league. Some players, as Dave Colburn said, get 1 day off tomorrow before Senior B training camp starts on Tuesday. So a 13-12 final score here in Barrie. Our 3 stars of the game. It was the championship game. It was pretty good defensively. Normally we say 10 goals. We disqualify the goaltenders at that mark, but the way Angus Dinley played, I don't think you can.
Well, I noticed after the final goal, he was exhausted. He couldn't even join his teammates at the end of the corner there. He just made it to the bench and gave Brad MacArthur a big hug, and that was it for him. He was totally drained. He gave everything he had out there.
Well, two games in about 3 days. That's a lot to ask of these guys, semifinals. And we look at the other goaltender on the other side. When Henhock came out, Mouse Henry said it would be a short lease for Henhock. Martin stepped in, the junior B guy, got it done.
Well, he certainly was the MVP on the Ohsweken side there. Had they won, we'd be talking about him as the MVP. He was spectacular right from the start in the second quarter.
But we do have a different MVP. He is also our first star of the game. Caleb Wiles has done it all since he returned from the Vancouver Stealth. Done it all since day one for this organization, and fitting that he's the MVP of this game.
Well, absolutely. He's been the MVP for the Barrie team for the last couple years, and Angus Dinley's maybe come over a little bit, but he was a star today, and he deserved that full marks.
So that'll do it for our coverage. The second year in a row, the Creators Cup Championship goes to overtime. This time, the Barrie Blizzard take 2 minutes and 13 seconds to score the 13th and game-winning goal. It comes off the stick of Jason Crawford, and there is a party in Barrie on Easter Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank everyone who's helped us all year. Ron Ruff here in Barrie, Wayne Paddock out at the ILA and in Paris, Ontario. Of course, our director, Alex Frazau, our producer, Gary Morrison, executive producers, Ryan Harkness and Chad Asseltine, and of course, our crew here today, Spencer Tange, Steven Stamp, and the rest of our JVI Sports Network crew and everyone involved with the Canadian Lacrosse League. For the final time this season, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Matthew Carrick. We'll talk to you in the summer.